you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football.
Jets, Jets. Let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Shine Show. I am your host, Nick. I will be joined in a few minutes by Dylan Terraman, Dom C, Buffalo Jet fan. We'll be kicking this off around 9 o'clock. I wanted to come on a little bit beforehand, discuss some things with you fine people, and we'll get all that going. We got some new additions. If you are not a member of this channel yet, you have to. You have to join right now. You have to click the join button and get in, because how do you not want to use this emoji? It will be there in a moment. I will upload it during Blitz BK. But ladies and gentlemen, how do you not want that? You need that in your life. You want that in your life. Turn it up.
It's got me.
Gentry covered the fumble!
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his promise, Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined, so get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky.
Who, me?
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed. And if you refresh your YouTube now, as you can see, the magician emoji, which I just previewed for you fine ladies and gentlemen, is there. It's active. Enjoy. Also, there you go, Bill. Show them how it's done, Bill. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And Easter Sunday, we have a raffle going on. The raffle will be winner's choice. Mark Reese won last time. He wants me to surprise him with a player from the 98 team with a mini helmet. So I'm scouring the internet looking for that. But make sure you enter to get in. And if you join up and become a member of the channel on your own, we will triple raffle entries. So it's a very good thing to do. Supports the channel, gets you in the bonus section of entries, and yeah, it's a good time. I like it. I like being a member of the channel. I like having access to the emojis. Look here we got. I'll show you some that we got. We got a Joe Namath. We got Gino, who will surpass Joe Namath this year for passing yards all time. We got a Membu. We have, of course, what did we learn? For Boom, we got the big fella. We got the wiener lady. We got David D. We got Knobcraft. We got Puff Addy. We got the Jet logo. We got Curtis Martin. We got Aaron Glenn. course, we got to pay tribute to Nick Mangold. We got Blitz BK. We got Big Briggs. We got Devondre Sweat. We got Tom Ace. We got G5. We got Will Mack. We got Kevin Tats. We got Brees Hall. For now, not sure. What else? Am I missing one? Did we do the new logo? I did the new logo. The knob. Oh, we got Johnny Boy. And that's it. Damn it, Boom. Stop fucking yelling at me. God. You beat the Canadians a bunch of times in athletics, and all of a sudden, Boom's all temperamental in the chat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined shortly by my guest tonight. We're going to do a fun thing here. We're going to do mock draft up to pick number 44. And each one of us will have a different New York Jet pick. And we will be doing every team, not just the Jets. So you'll see a lot of fun. We'll have some good discussions. It also can prep you guys mentally for the draft and what to expect and maybe where some players will fall. We know Jets fans love mock drafts, especially when you have 4 of the top 44. It's a lot. Clancy, I have no idea what this means. Help me out, Sea Dog. I don't know what this is in reference to. But a couple of things I want to talk about. Muji being able to move Justin Fields. I'm very happy about that. I didn't want this saga dragging on. I didn't want it going deep into the offseason. I didn't want it being a focal point of discussion on shows. What do we do with Justin Fields? He's still on the roster. Get him gone. Get him out. It's a very, very good decision. And the fact that we could potentially turn this pick, because we know Muji's been very, very good with swapping out late round picks for proven players. Briggs, Brownlee, Mitchell was a throw in. He got Mechie at one point. He's been able to adjust this roster through late pick swaps. And now you look at, we might get a wide receiver. Who knows? We might be able to get a wide receiver, and then you traded Justin Fields for a wide receiver or another tight end. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, better not be getting sick. I can't afford that shit. But Muji strikes again, folks. And Muji has been very good. Dare I say elite with doing these swap outs for these late picks. And you never know when you're going to need one of these. We're loaded up with, I believe, 3 sixes for the 27 draft already. And you've seen him utilize these to acquire players. So I would rather take the proven entity than rolling the dice. And I think there's a 8% hit rate of people drafted from the 5th round and on who stay in the league for more than 3 years. Use that pick. Get somebody that comes in. Get somebody that can contribute. Get somebody who's been misused on another team or the scheme changed. Whatever the case may be. Bring them in. Get them here. Pinpoint with your scouting and go get someone. I'd much rather that than taking a chance on a defensive lineman from Fresno State. I don't even know if they have a football team. I know they have a basketball team. Harris says for Jets picks, you should do secret picks on paper, then reveal them and see if anyone agrees. Uh, I think we're all honest to say like who we would take there. That'll be the fun part, the discussion. Also, I'm not scrambling to get a pen and paper. I mean, I could put it on the phone, but I'll be honest. I'll say who I would have taken in that position, and I know Buffalo and the other guys will as well. Hello, mess. Hello, Mike D's nuts. Hello, Wild Chew. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. Andrew C starts us off. Muji should have traded Quincy. Yeah, but we don't know if he got any offers for Quincy. We know there was offers for Brees, but I don't recall if there was offers coming in for Quincy. I mean, you let him go, you let him walk. I'm very surprised. Like Quincy went to Cleveland. I thought Dallas, maybe under market value to be with Quinnen, would have been the place to go, but he goes to a team with a very good defense, with a very good front. They got who they draft last year, the kid from Michigan, Mason Graham. That was the guy they took early. They got Garrett. They got Graham. They got Ward at cornerback. They got a loaded defense, man. You know, Quincy won't have a lot of pressure on him, and with that defensive front, he should be able to run around and make plays, which is his strong suit. His strong suit is being aggressive and attacking. It's not reading and reacting. He just makes up his mind that he's going, and he goes. So, thank you for the super chat, Andrew C. I appreciate you. JOK. Yeah, I forget his name. Jeremiah. Jeremiah. I don't know. I know the initials because I've seen them a bunch, but I forget the player's actual name. You know, I think if Muji makes any more moves before the draft, oh wow, Clancy, that's not. Yeah, all right, we're just gonna go with JOK. Yeah, JOK. I'm okay not saying that name. I think if Muji makes any more moves going forward, you could possibly see a wide receiver added. We signed wow, what's his name today? Okorafor? Chemuka? Chemu? I'm pulling up Twitter. I want to try to say his name the right way. Man, these guys tweet so goddamn much during the day. What's up, everyone in the chat? How are you? Like I said earlier, hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll be joined in a few minutes by Dom C, Buffalo Jet fan, Dylan Terman. We'll be doing a full mock with every team, 1 through 44. I could have sworn that I saw that tweet come through today. But the Jets have added to the offensive line. We got Parham. We re-signed Myers early. Titman should be getting an extension soon. I think when you get into that May, June lull, OTAs, you'll see Titman get a nice extension. I'm very curious to see where Titman comes in. Does he go with a 3-year deal? Does he want to push towards 5? I know a lot of guys like to align their contracts with when the new collective bargaining agreement will come into play because there'll be more money. Everyone believes there'll be more money. I mean, there's more money every year. But I think if you give Titman the Sherwood contract, 3 years, 45, I'm fine with that. You go 4 for 60, maybe 4 for 64. I think that's a really good deal for Titman, who could be an ascending player, and you might even get him cheap. So I'm looking to see what they do with Titman. Other than that, who else do we have on the horizon for an extension after this season? Going into 27, Olu would be eligible, but with him being a first round pick, you don't even have to jump quickly to do that. So might not be looking to 28 until you do the extension with him, which would kick in for 29. Shout out to Boomtown. So we don't have. I mean, Will McDonald, he could be eligible. I'm still very curious to see, and that deadline will be usually mid-May after the draft for the fifth-year option. If they pick up Will McDonald's fifth-year option, what do you guys think? Tell me in the chat what you think. If they pick up Will's option, I think it's still to be determined. Like that's how I would vote. I don't think it's yes or no definitively either way. But when you look at Will McDonald, let's see how he's utilized in a 3-4. With I saw a video today. The Jets now have 4 of the top 24 defensive linemen in PFF in terms of stopping the run. They have made a commitment to stopping the run. Now you get longer third down situations in theory. And now you can tee off on the quarterback. And now that's where a guy like Will McDonald. Now I repeatedly say this. Games that were close last year, he did really, really well late in those games. He got to Rodgers in Pittsburgh. He got to Joe Flacco in Cincinnati. He got to I forget who was the quarterback when we played Cleveland. Was that Sanders by then? Help me out, Chad. I forget who the quarterback was for Cleveland, if they had made that move yet, or if it was still Gabriel. Very, very uneventful game. Not memorable at all. Thank you, Clancy. See, what's crazy is you can see when I put up the comment, there's still a wrench. StreamYard still has it as a wrench. But as you can see in YouTube, there's a blue shield there now. So they're just giving Clancy multiple weapons. Don't fuck with Clancy because he will use them. Boomtown and Big Fella are nice guys, but Clancy's a little bit of a lunatic. He will use his wrench and his shield to fight. So back to the defensive line. I'm starting to like the way this is shaking up. And I know what you guys are going to say. You don't even have to type it. Let me say it for you. Nick, you're always positive. You're going to find a reason to like everything. It's what you do every year. It's true. You're not wrong. But when you look at and you break it down, compared to what we've had, I think they've made an outstanding commitment to stopping the run. And now when you bring in Demario Davis and you move Sherwood to off ball, you can use his speed to be aggressive. You're getting physicality with speed. Will can play fast. Sherwood can play fast. You assume if it's Reese or Bailey, they can play fast. And now you're loaded up with big bodies and you sprinkle the speed in around them. That's how you get a top defense. And then you got playmakers on the back end who can actually get interceptions and turnovers now. Listen, I'm not going to say we're a top 10 defense. I'm not going there. I think you can look at between 14 and 18 in the league. And if our offense with Gino, with a better offensive line, with weapons, they can control the ball more. We can control the clock more. Maybe your defense gets even better than we think. You know, if you can hold teams to less than 20 points in this day and era, that's pretty good. You know, you can hold the team less to 23 week in and week out, you should be all right. It's when you start giving up 25, 26, 27 points where it's It's going to get ugly. Eli says, so no chance we take Styles. I don't think we take him at 2. If somebody decides to trade up, and I'm hoping this Jeremiah Love smoke, there's actual fire there. And I hope somebody trades up to get ahead of Arizona, to get ahead of the Titans, and calls us and just says, hey, we need to come to number 2. What can we give you? Okay, let's deal. Maybe the Giants. They've drafted a running back at number 2 before. New regime, sure. But with a young quarterback, why take the chance of losing a guy like that? I can only hope somebody is so smitten with Jeremiah Love that they want to trade up to 2 with us. And then that allows us to slide back a few spots and we can be in a position to either still, if we go back to 5, for example, well, if they take Love, I'll tell you right now, Reese, Bailey, Styles, Downs, at least 2 of them are there. But, ladies and gentlemen, one of our guests is here. Let's welcome Buffalo Red fan.
What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
Good. Yeah, I mean, dude, if the Titans are crazy enough to trade up for a running back, man, all day, I'll slide back.
Giants, the Titans, anyone, anybody, please, for the love of God, jump.
So let me ask you this: would you? So, who's your preference at 2, Reese?
I think they take Reese. My preference, I think, if you tell me we can get out of Sherwood's contract, I would just take Styles and let Styles play next to Davis and learn, and then eventually take over in the middle. And now you got a guy going into year 3 who sat next to one of the best leaders in football for 2 years, taking over your defense. Because Styles is fairly new to middle linebacker, right?
Yeah, it was
So
1 year.
if he can sit there and learn from DeMario Davis for 2 years before taking the reins, I think that makes us only better. I think Styles is a better player from day one, but I think Reese's ceiling is just too intriguing at a position where, like, I don't want to take. All right, let me rephrase this. I don't want to take Reese and put Reese at off-ball linebacker.
No, that doesn't.
I
Make
would
any
rather
sense.
have him at edge. But if you're going to take
Yeah.
it and put him there, just fucking take Styles instead.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think that there's nobody I'm that married to that I wouldn't take the offer back to 4. I'd be fine whoever is
Oh,
there
yeah.
at 4, and get the extra, because it'd be a nice, going by the points or whatever. That'd be a nice haul. You're talking about a 2nd-round pick plus something else pretty sweet. So I would move back, and if
you can get
whoever's
another
gone is gone.
27-1, just say, hey,
Yeah.
we'll take next year's one and have 4 first-rounders and do what we did in 2000. But thinking of something that's pretty sweet. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm ready to rock out with my mock out.
Nice. Nice. We're waiting for Dom. You guys saw the message with our draft picks, with who's picking where?
Yeah. Gave me some
Yes.
time to do a little bit of homework on some of these teams that, I'm not normally thinking about at the, back end of the first round of the draft. It's going to be a fun little exercise.
Yeah.
Cool.
Buffalo, myself, and Dom did 1 through 33, and then I was like, let's do one live, man. Let's a big fella, save that for later in the show, please. This is about football right now. There will be time to get to this. I promise you.
You need, well, first of all, you need a super chat to get that question answered.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or to get the reveal. There's got to be a big one to get it revealed. But I did tease in my Discord with it being Luppy's birthday and Lena's anniversary. Maybe I won't be wearing pants tonight.
Wow.
Listen, man, the milkshake brought people to the yard.
You could teach them, but you'd have to charge.
Yes.
I
All
believe
right,
is the
Dom's
proverb.
rebooting his computer, and then he will be here. I want to send this message to Dylan so then I can put it up on air. So, Buffalo, give me your thoughts on Muji the magician and what he's been able to do so far.
Yeah, he's definitely a good trader. Like I think even if his worst case, even if it doesn't work out as a GM, he'll get a job in a front office as like executive director of trades or something like that. So Moogs, there's nothing he's really done this offseason that I think you could say is bad. Obviously there's a hole at wide receiver, but I think they're going to take a wide receiver at 16 or 33, so I'm not too worried about it. The trading for Justin Fields is crazy. And now we're seeing the obligatory, like the Chiefs and Andy Reid are going to unlock Justin Fields and Sam Darnold arc. It's like, come on, man, come on.
I will say this though, Andy Reid will cook up some fun plays with Fields, and if Mahomes isn't ready for the beginning of the year, Dylan and I were discussing this last night on his channel that Andy Reid has several months of work with Fields, and the NFL, you'll know if Mahomes is coming back or not
By the
based off
schedule.
of their schedule in the beginning.
Yeah.
If they play the Jets, the Cardinals, the Dolphins in September, you know that Mahomes is not going to be back for the start of the season. But if they're playing at Denver to open up the season, and then Kansas City has to go to the Chargers, and then they play, one of their big opponents, and then a Jet game.
I hope we get the Titans, Fields with the Chiefs and Miami to open, just so like, all right, let us know. Like if we're gonna,
Yeah.
if you lose to Salah, Fields, and the tanking Dolphins, then we can just pack it up. Like, let's find out what we're made of.
Yeah, don't give us a gauntlet out the gates. Give us like our
No,
own
come on.
tier of players first.
Yeah, let us get it. Let us get into a groove here, man.
Yeah.
The schedule looks tough, man, on paper. Obviously, things can always change, but I was just looking at it. I hadn't looked at it in a while. I looked at it today. I'm like, damn, why do we play the Broncos every year? So I want to know.
Yeah, even when we don't end up in the same like third or fourth place in the division, it's like, oh, well, we'll play the whole division this year. Yeah,
You're
so
in last place. We still have to play them every year.
it's
I don't know if it's at
absolutely
home or
nuts.
in Denver, though. I don't remember. Maybe it's at home.
Crazy. But with Fields, my biggest issue is what happens as soon as he takes a hit. Is he going to like shrivel up like he did with the Jets and just be like, I don't want to be the Wildcat gadget guy, even when Mahomes isn't healthy? Like, I'm just going to refuse to throw the ball like he did in New York. So I'm kind of concerned about Fields if you have to start him for more than like 3 to 4 games in Kansas City. But he can get you to like a 1-2, 2-2 maybe start. I don't know. Like him in week 1 is really good. He'll put up a lot of points and he'll do a lot of flashy stuff. It's just like when the hits start piling up, and that happened for us in week 2 against Buffalo, which is really unfortunate. And then it just never really, progressed from there. So getting anything in the trade is just crazy, though. Build a statue.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pulling it up right now. Where did it go? Here it is.
Although I
this
will,
is the Jets' opponents for this year. Denver does come here.
Okay.
So home we have Green Bay, Minnesota, Denver, the Raiders, the Browns, and then the division.
Yeah, can we start Tennessee, Kansas City, like Vegas or Miami at home in the opener? Like I'll take a 2-game road start against Tennessee and Kansas City, and then come
100%.
home and have our home opener against like Miami or Vegas
or Cleveland.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, because they always take into account the Jets. I feel like they're always that team, like when they're putting together the schedule, whether we had Rodgers or not, they always just like they key in on what the Jets are doing. Like they almost sometimes try to make them irrelevant by October, November. Sometimes the Jets just do a really good job of doing that on their own. But
yeah,
the schedule is never usually in favor of the Jets, and we're always like, oh wow, you can't get off to a 1-7, 2-6 start. Here we go again.
Yeah.
It starts the same old Jets narrative in May, which is just incredible.
Oh, that's the one thing we can rely on time and time again. Shout out to Derek, the Kansas Jet fan, gifting a membership that went to Kyle Clifton. So Kyle Clifton, you have access to the emojis now. Thank you, Derek. You are in the raffle on Easter night for 1. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
While we wait for Dom, did you guys see Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper's mocks today?
I saw Jeremiah's.
Yes.
Kuiper did another one. I thought Kuiper did one yesterday.
Was this
I think
yesterday?
Kuiper does one every like 4 hours.
Yeah. All right.
It says today at 11:55. I don't know if that is he revised it after the trade happened with Miami, because Miami is still picking 30th. Funny, he and Daniel Jeremiah both have the Dolphins picking the same person at 30. But in this one, he has David Bailey and Ty Simpson, which I think is
For us?
interesting for the Jets. Yeah.
The game has passed you by, Mal. Shave your fucking head and retire, bro. Go away. Go the fuck away, dude.
Wow.
But you know what? I give him credit. I say it every year. There are people who will put awful picks to the Jets because they know it'll get retweeted. They know it'll get shared. They know they have free marketing and free advertising because we are lunatics when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to rage bait Nick. Why would you say that about David Bailey?
Soft in the run game.
Oh.
And everything we've been doing on the front is to get physical and violent, and I don't see that in him.
Yeah.
I like the step up field, but I already got Will McDonald who can be a speed rusher. Give me a guy who can at least bring some physicality on the other end to complement Will, not just get a guy who might be half a step faster than Will. Will has proven he's quick enough. Now you got the guys in the middle that can collapse the pocket, and which allows Will to turn up and bend that corner, which he can do. Don't get another guy like Will who's you traded away Jermaine, who was our best run defender on the outside. Go get a guy who can contribute to that, not a guy that lessens that, because it would contradict every move the Jets have made so far. And I stay pretty calm throughout.
Is he a 3-down player? It's like I thought you were gonna about Ty Simpson. That's why I thought you were talking about Mel Kiper that way.
Paying attention to him. I will take him with my first non-Jet pick in this mock just to make sure that he doesn't become a Jet.
Well, that's why
I don't think he will. I think he'll be there at 16 and the Jets will pass on him. Is my prediction.
Is that what you're predicting tonight?
Oh wait, no, Dylan's got 16. Dylan fucking loves.
Oh,
chaos,
I have no idea what Dylan Terman's
Hello.
gonna do. That's my
That's
prediction.
why I asked. I said I said is Ty Simpson gonna get?
I just been thinking
tonight?
about what I'm gonna do with the Raiders at 1 all day. Ever since I got that message, I was like, shit, man. I gotta dig into some stats here.
You gotta do what I did. I tried to do in the mock that me and Dom did. I was like, we select Ty Simpson. Just let Mendoza fall to the Jets. Let the world burn.
Come on.
Turn the randomness slider all the way up on PFF and just hit go, and they'll probably take Sonny Styles at least 1 out of every 7 times.
Yeah. Sometimes they do. I have to start over. PFF will have the Raiders take Mansour Delane or something. Man, but this is
a little bit of an issue going on with his computer. We are waiting for him, but right now we will show you guys how it came out.
And this is just to make sure we all had one selection for the Jets, right? Dom did all this.
Dom does pick 4th, so we could kind of start slowly.
Yeah, so that's how it lies. And the way the picks are laid out for the Jets, it's just perfect for us to each get a pick. There's no swapping the order. Very good job by the Jets doing this.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I have some really interesting teams. I feel like I'm okay with the Commanders at 7, the Dolphins at 11, but then the Chargers and the Eagles and the Niners in the 19 to 27 range. I was really doing a lot of homework on what their roster looked like, what additions they made. So it's going to be interesting to see how the board falls. And then for teams that the Browns per se, somebody's picking their first round pick, but somebody different is getting their second round pick. So now you have to build off what that person did. And if you absolutely hate their pick, now it's going to create, confusion
Chaos.
for your pick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we might. Dom's computer may have just shit the bed. I don't know if you guys are seeing the text group.
My phone is all the way over there. I can't see.
Yeah, he's saying he thinks his computer shot, still not turning on. Just go on and do the mock without me.
Oh no.
And I said to him, "Can you prop your phone up and just do the mock off of your brain or seeing the screen?"
Yeah. I'm sure Dom has grinded enough mocks where he knows like every pick from 1 to 44,
Yeah.
like all the teams in order. He has a database in his brain sorted by team need for all 32 teams.
Yeah.
His computer has the ring of death.
Technologia.
All right, so like I said, folks, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I will be dropping Dylan's, Dom's, and Buffalo's link. Also, I will get Buffalo's new Twitter account. He got Charles Gorman on his account. Oh, Dom with a hang on. We could be good here. So if you have followed the Buffalo Jet fan and you're wondering where the hell has he been, someone named Isabel overseas has Charles Gorman's bank account and Buffalo's Twitter account now.
Yeah, like they didn't even like post anything. I'm like, what's the point of taking my account if you don't even do anything?
Yeah, I knew right away that you got hacked because I've seen that message come across my DMs a few times. It was like asking me to vote for
It's
you.
so
for,
obviously
like,
fake.
podcast of the year or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is so totally something that you would not just ask me to do privately and just make it so. And putting all those emojis that I know you love to use. So I just asked them to subscribe to the channel and then politely give the account back. And
who did they say they wanted at pick 16?
they didn't respond. I wish I've gotten one person to answer me before, like that got hacked, you know, just like trying to toy with them. They're like, I saw you didn't vote yet. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because I still have my account. So I'm really happy that I didn't vote.
I saw that Buffalo liked one of Tigo's tweets, and I was like, no, he got hacked. There's no way.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. I try. All right, we might have good news from Dom here. A hang on is a good sign, I guess, when you're going through this panic. I was there one time with the laptop, and I went to I used to stream from the laptop, and I rebooted, and I went into an upgrade, and it was like 45 minutes, man. I was fucking angry, and it was a Sunday night show too, and like the crowd was starting to like build up, and like I was getting momentum, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Gotta love technology, man.
Yeah. Anyone have a baseball score yet? Has that game started? I haven't watched a lick of it, but I am a red-blooded American.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have not been keeping tabs. It's Venezuela today, right? That's who they're playing.
Yes, I believe so. And I heard right before the game, we captured their head coach, and that's how the game is going to play. Thank you.
Dom's giving me a chance to at least put in some wheel of names from last night. Appreciate everybody again for tuning in. Thank you again to Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm waiting for him to have his headphones on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. No? Wrong headphones? Give me a thumbs up when you can hear me. Ladies and gentlemen, the dramatic diva of the group. Never would have thought that. Dom C.
It's not me, dude. It's his computer.
I'm trying to make you laugh. I saw how tense you looked.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I know.
When it rains, it pours on everything. How are you, boys?
All right, man.
Doing well.
Good, man.
Who wants to run this?
I can
Dylan.
I can do it. I can do it.
Dylan is the only one who could be trusted to do that.
Yeah, true. Dylan, make sure you do a 2-round mock.
2-round
we
mock.
can get to pick 44.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
And then have to refill the whole draft.
Yep.
Wasn't that the sauce here? I think so, because I think it was with a few of you, but like we all remembered. We were able to like quickly, like, it was like a 3-minute.
I think I was definitely involved in that.
Yeah, you were there. I think all of you were there, but I don't know if Dylan had a channel yet then. But
No, I did not. I was still with Jet
Oh,
Nation
that was
at the time.
we had Chaos and Adam and Gunny and Tigo.
Yeah,
Like we did
yeah.
a bunch of us.
Oh wow. All right, we don't need to make any trades, right? All the Jets picks, only the comp picks later on are messed up in the mock simulator. All right, am I sharing my screen or am I just
Please.
bookkeeping and then I'll share it when you guys want me to? Or okay, we'll share it.
Please do so.
All right, let me.
And then again, for those of you wondering, this will be the order. And here's what we're gonna do.
So just before you get
Buffalo
into
Nick,
that,
DT Dom. Hold on 1 second. Buffalo Nick, DT Dom. Buffalo Nick, DT Dom.
ooh, there you go.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, fancy boys.
I like
So-
this.
to make it work properly, so that we each got one Jets pick, I had to flip me and Dylan. So I go. If you look, I flipped 15 and 16.
Yep, my gap
Oh,
is
you did?
11 to
Oh, I
16,
didn't-
which is perfect.
Yeah,
All right, I didn't
Genius.
catch that. I said
just
it worked
that,
out
just that
perfect.
one.
Okay.
It did work out perfect otherwise. So
All right, let me
Okay.
share
Sweet.
my screen.
All right. All right.
Dom, you want Mendoza? Come on, let's make a trade.
I think Jets fans. It's funny. I see a lot of Jets fans bitching and moaning that, see, if we had just done what Miami's doing this year, we'd be sitting at number 1 and we'd have Mendoza. Like it hurts, right? And then if we take Mendoza, they'd be complaining if he doesn't throw for 404 touchdowns every single game. You took Mendoza, now you can't get a quarterback next year. Like some people are just choosing to be angry and miserable.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, Nick, your show, your rules, is this a what we would do, or is this predictive? Big difference.
I say let's do predictive, right?
So predictive, like what we think the team is actually.
Well, yeah, what we think the team will do.
I like that.
Whatever you guys want.
Who's up
That
first?
work?
Is that Buffalo?
I mean, if I'm outnumbered with you guys, I will.
No. I don't care either way. I just want to know.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I don't know what the teams are going to do, so it's the same to me.
I was gonna say after a while it all becomes a blend to me as well. Like I look at what is a hole in their roster and I say that's the spot I'm gonna go for.
Well, I think it really matters for the Jets because what we would do, I think you can consider Sonny Styles or BJF. You can consider Bain.
We'd probably
You know what I
all
mean?
have 4 different names. Honestly, there's a chance.
So
Well, I'll take Mendoza to the Raiders because that, regardless, that's probably what I would do and what I think the Raiders would do. Yeah, I think he's. I would, and if the Jets are the number 1 pick, I want to take him. I don't think he's like generational or anything, but if you need a quarterback and you have the number 1 pick, you don't got to trade up. I think he's worth it, and I think that's 99.9% chance what they will do.
And the draft actually begins.
Dun, dun,
Or
dun.
does the draft start at 3? Because it feels like the mock has always been this one specific player at 2 for so long.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm hoping the Jets get an offer. In real life, I am hoping that the Jets get an offer, and they get out of this pick. But
Can I ask why? I'm just curious.
because I think you can choose multiple players, and I would love to get another 2027 pick, and that's what I would be asking for. If somebody wants to jump the Titans or Cardinals, maybe it's for love. Who knows? There seems to be a lot of love forming for him, unintended. And I just don't see a definitive choice here at 2. And the 2 players that I think are definitive choices are a middle linebacker or a safety. And I would rather bump back a little bit. I like Reese, but I like Styles and Downs at their position more than I like Reese at not knowing what position he'll be best at. You follow me? I don't have any problem with Reese.
I
If you
understand.
stay at 2, I'm taking Reese.
I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I understand the rationale behind it.
Are we all in agreement that if we were drafting Arvell Reese at 2, he's playing edge 80+% of the time, and you're sprinkling in off-ball duties?
I do.
Like
Yes.
it's not
I
even
think-
close to 50-50?
I think I mean, I'm again. This is not the player comp because this is something that gets played out too much. But I think he's in the Micah role, the Micah Parsons role, where he's a little bit all over the place. You know, you're going to have him spy on certain times. You're going to have him stacked over a 5-tech certain times and blitz. Most of the time, he's going to line up on the edge. You know, he's probably already, you know, number 1 or number 2 is a shit kicker, run defender, you know, wherever he is. So to me, my opinion only, and I respect your guys wholeheartedly, but I think Arvell Reese is the best non-quarterback in this class.
I like
Not my highest graded, but I think he's the best overall player, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking him, but where I am with the player, I don't think you turn down a good offer to get out of there.
These were the teams PFF simulates or projects would be calling you. I assume 10, 14, 17, and 31 you're not entertaining. That's too far back, but you'd entertain a move to 5 is what you're saying?
100%.
Because you still think you can get one of those guys that you like, whether it's a
100%.
Bain, Bailey, Styles, Downs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the Giants call it 5, that's a dream scenario.
Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Because you could still get, if they say Love is the player,
Yeah.
you're still getting Reese, Styles, or Downs at 5.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. I like it. I mean, I can't.
And having 4 1s in what people are calling possibly the best draft in a very long time, that could change your whole franchise.
No, that's fair. I can't say I would do it. Like I'm kind of with Dom. Like I think I would take Reese, but I wouldn't fault them for having that type of mindset, especially if they gain another 2027 pick. But Arvell Reese, 100%, that's the pick.
Can you imagine the mock drafts we'd be doing immediately? We would forget about day 2 and 3 of the NFL draft, and we would start doing 27 mocks if we had 4 1s.
Yeah, as soon as the trade went through.
That's it. It'd be like,
Dom
all
will have
right,
a
new
top
mock draft,
1,000.
baby, let's go.
Yeah, Dom will have a
Yes.
top 1,000 by like July.
Yeah.
Yes, the pick is.
I'm with you, Nick. I agree. I would be happy to pick up the phone here. But
Yeah.
So
All right, so Reese is the pick. I am up with the Arizona Cardinals. They only have one real need that I saw on their roster that was like super glaring. Their right tackle is Elijah Wilkinson. They signed him to a 2-year, $6.25 million deal in free agency. So I'm going to take Francis Mauigoa, the tackle from Miami, to plug in as their immediate right tackle across from Paris Johnson Jr. Make it pretty simple. I think the Cardinals are an easy team to mock for because they have a lot of needs, but I think tackle is the most glaring. So I'm going to go there, and Mike LaFleur gets a protector for, I guess, Jacoby Brissett is his quarterback as of right now.
do you guys remember last time where we had like one other person assigned to kind of give their 2 cents to each person's pick? Do you remember that? So like,
Yeah.
just to get like another feedback, but it wasn't all 4 of us talking about each pick. Do you remember that? Did we do that?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do that? Do you want to have a pick buddy?
Go
A
ahead.
Yeah,
pick
we can
time
just-
in buddy?
We could just snowball it into like if I'm picking, then Dom's up after me, so Dom can give his 2 cents
There
and
you
then
go.
make his pick, and then it'll be you, Kev.
Okay.
Sweet. Sounds
All right,
good.
Do it.
So am I giving my 2 cents on Mauigoa? I think he's a good player. I think that any tackle personally at this range is a little bit reachy. You know, especially for the fact that we still don't know. I think that there's 2 pure tackles in this class. Monroe Freeland from Georgia and Blake Miller from Clemson. I know Max Honecker is got the cuts to be a tackle, but he's a long project away in my personal and humble opinion. So I don't know if I think Mauigoa is a great player. I think he's super agile. I think he can start him at tackle. If it doesn't work, you're going to have a shit kicking inside guy. And I think the same thing about Spencer Fanu. I actually think Spencer Fanu probably is going to find himself settling in as a center somewhere and being a dog at it. So I understand what you're doing. I understand what, not you, Dylan, but I understand what Arizona's doing in this spot. and I don't think it's. I think it's a strong possibility. Me personally, I don't know if I'm. I think I'm going to wait to plug a right tackle, unless my plan is to use that second rounder and try to move up to get a quarterback or something like that. Then you got to go. Then you might have to do it here. So
Ooh, I like that.
yeah, I'm up with Tennessee. This is predictive. I would wholeheartedly say that that David Bailey is in the cards, but the vibe is the Jeremiah Love thing is real in Tennessee, which shocks me. With Saleh, the head coach, I would figure that it would be defense. You definitely, I mean, you got Femi Adejo opposite Jermaine Johnson, so I think you're okay there with the depth in this edge class. I guess maybe you can pass on a guy like Bailey or Bain and take, but if you pass on Jeremiah Love, you're not getting anything close to the player. So I'm going to ride the hype train here, and I'm going to take Jeremiah Love at 4 for Tennessee.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I like the I like them using this pick to do something to help Cam Ward, because Robert Saleh got to bring in a lot of guys, veterans on defense. At edge, they do have Jermaine, JFM. They have Femi coming back, who was like a DPR, Martin coming back. So they have a good 4. Not to say that those guys should prevent you from taking an edge, but they've at least fortified that position enough where they can go ahead and take the running back. I think Love is like a tick below the Bijan and Saquon Robinson tier of running back, but still a guy you could maybe like around Jahmyr Gibbs level prospect, where taking him in the top 15 is not crazy. So cool with it. I'd probably maybe get my first receiver off the board if I'm Tennessee, but if they think he's the best weapon for their quarterback, that's cool. With the Giants, I'm going to say Carnell Tate. I think they'll go receiver. I think that pairing him with, and I think Neighbors is, I know he got hurt. I think Neighbors is going to be phenomenal. And I think the idea you're going for is the Chase and Higgins combo where, your second guy could really be a number 1 on a lot of teams. May not be the most dynamic with the ball or as athletic as receivers that go this high, but I think that he's so damn good at the catch point. The 0 drops and 86% contested catch rate is like his historic. So I just think that the floor is really high, and now you give Dart a really awesome 1 and 2, and I think you can go ahead and get some of your other stuff at the top of the second round.
Yeah. Shout out to the big fellow with the super chat says, if there is a discrepancy, how about pull the chat? We definitely could. I think that if we get to that is definitely an option. And I thank you for the super chat, sir. Folks, if you're here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And I think the Giants would love to add a weapon. I think they hope maybe Love is there. If not, I think Tate is a fantastic fallback for them. Like you said, you have to have multiple weapons in the passing attack to be successful, and you have a young quarterback, and you go build around him in every way you can, and you just keep adding to him until it's perfected. So I don't think you can go wrong with Tate and his abilities. Neighbors is a do-it-all type of player, and Tate's, like you said, his contested catch rate, his downfield presence will just help open up Neighbors even more with all of his route running that he can do. So I think it's a really good selection there. Now, Cleveland.
This is a tough pick, kind of.
This to me is a trade down spot. I'm not suggesting that we do it. I'm just speaking that out loud. I think this might be a trade down spot.
Would you have taken Tate for them if he was on the board?
For Cleveland?
Yeah, Nick, did I snipe you?
I would have been between Tate and probably Freeling. And now that Tate's gone, I think that they've made some additions to their offensive line, but I think they still need a tackle, right?
Yeah.
They need a left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, lock it in. Monroe Freeling, tackle from Georgia.
All right. I like that pick. He's like one of the true like left tackles in this draft, right, Dom? There's not many that are like left tackle specific. There's a lot that are mostly right tackle or kicking into guard, or like you said, even center with Spencer Fanu. So one of the true left tackles in this class. So that is their missing piece, hopefully, because it did look like they were going to have to replace 80% of their offensive line, and everybody was like, okay, just spam offensive line with all their draft picks. But if you can at least knock out Monroe Freeling, you hit one of the biggest needs at left tackle, a premium position. You take your premium picks and spend them on premium positions. So I can't get too mad at that one. I'm a little torn here with Washington. I did not anticipate having Bain and David Bailey both available to me. They have added Odafe Owe on a 4-year, $100 million deal. So that's a big market edge deal. But they only signed Kayvon Chase onto a 1-year, $11 million deal. So I feel like they can still add a rookie edge or defensive end type player. I originally had David Bailey written down. I have him ranked higher than Ruben Bain. It's splitting hairs. I think I'm going to stick with my gut and go David Bailey here, the edge from Texas Tech. I think he's just super explosive. He doesn't he's a little too I don't want to say like Will McDonald, but trying to like just get a Jets fan's mindset into that type of player where like the Jets, it wouldn't make sense to have David Bailey across from Will McDonald, but David Bailey across from like an Odafe Owe or a Kayvon Chase on to me is a little bit different in my opinion. And I think their skill sets would mesh a little better. So Bain would be a great pick here, but I'm going to go David Bailey, the edge from Texas Tech.
Yeah, listen, he's a good player. He's a very, very good player. I think others are a little bit higher on him than I am. You know, I know with Bailey, you're getting a guy who fits the part, who, you know, is big enough, is long enough, you know, has shown, you know, a terrific ability to get home against, good competition, not premier competition, not SEC all the time, and not Big Ten all the time.
Respect Kansas.
The Iowa State love is not here. My biggest thing with Bailey, I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, the run game." Like, I actually think he's okay against the run the way he defends it. You know, he's much more of a gap shooter, and a disruptor than he is a pure edge setter. As a matter of fact, like, he doesn't do that very well at all. So my biggest thing with him is that his go-to, he wins with speed a lot of the time. And, I just don't know if that's always going to be able to work at the next level as well as it did at college. So that's my biggest concern. You're getting a guy that you're not sure if he's a 3-down player. You're not sure if he's a 2.5-down player. Right. That has a one go-to move. But, man, that one go-to is really, really good. So that's my whole thing with Bailey. I think I like the fit here. There's a couple teams that I think he fits in very, very well. Washington's one of them. So I'm up with New Orleans. I think New Orleans will go a bunch of different ways, to be honest with you. I think receivers definitely in play. I think that, they should like what they have in Tyler Shuck, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to need to add something to that room as well. My thing is here at this spot with Carnell Tate off the board. I think Carnell Tate's a perfect complement to Olave and Devon Vele. Devon Vele really just operates best as that big slot. And I don't know if you bring in Mekhi Lemon, what happens there. They definitely need a wide receiver. I think, I think they could use a guy like Ruben Bain. I think every team can use a guy like Ruben Bain. I think that you can also talk corner. I think this is fair opportunity for Mansour Delane, or even if you want to go. Actually, I don't know if they're going to be in the Caleb Downs market, because they do have Jonas Sanker that they spent pretty high capital on last year. So for me, it comes down between the edge rusher on the board and a wide receiver, probably. Man, this is tough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Ruben Bain. And I'm going to take the best player on the board at a position of need. Again, I love the way that you can reduce him down, and rush from the inside and take Nathan Shepard off the field in pass downs. I think you can have him outside and kind of be opposite Brian Brisset in certain situations on rundowns. Ruben Baines is very good, and the short arms don't bother me because his handwork is so elite, and his hand fighting skills and his counter moves are so elite that he doesn't allow the lack of arm length to bother him. So that's where we stand with Bane. He's the pick.
Well, then I would have taken Bane for the Chiefs if you didn't for the. I think that's kind of his maybe where his floor starts to creep up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the pick. It's kind of funny with Bane because I know I'm the president of the Bane fan club. I know the Jets are not taking him, but people would be like, "Oh my gosh, you can never take him at 2. That'd be crazy." And it's like, "Oh, what if the Saints take him at 8?" It's like, "Yeah, it's a good pick. It's nice." It's like is it a top 10 pick or not? But yeah, I like Bane. I think his floor is really high because of his run defense. Obviously, speed to power is king. Bane's kind of interesting because he does have like a nice finesse part of his game that you wouldn't think of, just the way that he's built. But obviously, thresholds matter, so arm length will probably could bump him down to this range. With the Chiefs, I know this isn't a popular fit with them, but if the board falls like this and they did lose Chenal in free agency, I just take Sonny Styles. To me,
you're not going to go with Ty Simpson and just build an elite quarterback room.
Yeah, elite depth. Yeah, I would take Sonny. Well, see, it also makes me question if they didn't want to pay Chenal if they don't value that position as much. I know that's not really their style. But with the edge rushers gone, I get maybe they like Lemon or Delane enough because that's really what it comes down to, like Lemon or Delane, and for the needs. But I think the talent would just be too much to pass on. I would take Sonny Styles here at 9.
All right, real quick before you go, Nick, did you guys see the tweet that they put out after the Justin Fields trade that said the Chiefs quarterback room is comprised of 2 MVP getters at quarterback? It's like the first time in I don't know, I think maybe history they said it. Fields in 2022 ended as the 9th best in MVP voting. And then obviously Patrick Mahomes won the MVP, and they put out a tweet about that right after the trade happened. I'm like, can you just say that you're trying to make it feel better for Chiefs fans? Golly.
I still can't believe. I wonder how many quarterbacks turned down a Pro Bowl offer in order for Justin Fields to get one, because nobody wants to go to that shit anymore.
Yeah.
They can go play golf wherever they want. They don't need to go to where the Pro Bowl is to play golf. Yeah, Buffalo, I agree with you that I think the value and the capabilities and abilities of Styles, just someone's not going to pass on him. He's not going to slide that far. And yes, I think 9 is a bit of a slide for how talented this player is. But when you can plug him in the middle of that defense, and listen, Kansas City the last couple of years, the last 2 seasons, has been built on defense. Their offense has not been the same as it was when Mahomes first came on the scene. So in order for them to keep winning games, I think they're going to need an elite defense until they can transform their offense. And Kelsey might only have 1 year left in him. The wide receiver room hasn't been what it was. They've put investments into the offensive line. They just brought in Kenneth Welker at running back. So they could be looking to be that Rex Ryan ground and pound type of team with dominant defense and not the 50 touchdowns that we saw Mahomes first doing it when he hit the scene. So, yeah, if you can get somebody like Styles in the middle of that D, great pick. Let me pick him. All right, now I'm up with the Bengals. And, the Bengals, I think everything that I just said about Styles is why the pick is Downs. And I'm going to take Caleb Downs here for the Bengals. And we know that they've gotten ripped apart and given up many points, many games. And if you could take what some people say, Black Gypsy is the best player in this draft, then go ahead. And this might be a gift for them.
It would help if I unmuted myself, gentlemen. But yes,
I thought you sound terrific on mute. Go back to it.
all right, I'll give you my opinion. Funny Styles on mute.
When I was
Caleb Downs,
translating off you last night with Alan.
yeah, that was fantastic. Caleb Downs, I think, is my number one player on my big board. He's not on my like Jets big board because obviously you factor in team need, but he still comes out third on my Jets specific big board. But he's number one on my overall in terms of just like tape and evaluation of the player. So getting him at 10, I understand people are going to say protect Joe Burrow because that's a big issue in Joe Burrow's career is not having protection, but I feel like the board fell in such a way where Styles and Downs back to back are such steals at 9 and 10. And it's actually like this is such a realistic scenario, I think, in my opinion, that we've put together our top 10 here. If we were, 8 out of 10 correct with placement exactly, I wouldn't be surprised. Like this is a way that the board could actually fall. And that actually, gives merit to should the Jets trade up to this range to try to steal one of these guys, as well as that blue chip edge defender at 2. So I like Downs here at 10. I'm probably going to stay in the secondary room for the Miami Dolphins. Their cornerback room, as it is currently constructed today, is Daryl Baker Jr., Storm Duck, Juju Brents, and Alex Austin. So not really striking the fear of God in offensive wide receivers. But I'm going to stick with Mansour Delane. I think that's a popular pick. I could have, pivoted to offensive line if one were to fall here. I could also, look at one of the wide receivers with Mekhi Lemon on the board or Jordan Tyson possibly because they just traded away Jalen Waddle. But I think, getting a guy like Mansour Delane, a really strong coverage corner to help Jeff Hafley's defense in Miami is the best way to go. So sorry, Malik Willis, you will continue to throw passes to yourself, but Mansour Delane, you are a Miami Dolphin.
It's me, right? Yeah, listen, I love Mansour Delane. I think he's a guy that just, he's not going to be the most athletic guy in the room for sure, but, he just knows how to play football. He improved so much from last year to this year from Virginia Tech to LSU. I think the little things he tightened up, like, he was always a good off coverage kind of, had those own eyes and could, really close down and make plays on the ball and stuff like that. But I think he definitely improved at, what he does in coverage. The trail technique, all that stuff, fighting through, punching through the ball, punching through the hands, all that stuff to cause chaos at the catch point. He's really, really, really gotten a lot better at. So I'm curious to see how he handles NFL speed. I don't know if he'll be able to, he might be a guy that has to give a little bit more cushion because he could get, beat pretty bad flat-footed. So you could throw a dart at the board and hit a position that Miami needs. So what better than cornerback? So I'm up with Dallas. I think the chalky pick these days is probably in the strong safety realm, which I think Dylan Thieneman kind of fills out. I'm not taking him, though. I think there's depth at the safety position. They just paid Jalen Thompson to come over from Arizona. Now, it doesn't, he's not anyone that, will preclude you from taking a safety. I just don't know if you need to take one here at 12 with some other needs on the board. I know they got Rashawn Gary in a trade, which I loved that deal. Rashawn Gary's got effectively 2 more years. They also signed, what's the other guy, the 5 tech? Is it Agbonia? I forgot what it had to say.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, from that he got from the They got him from the Chargers, I believe, or the Rams, one of the two. Kind of more of your 5 tech guy. Donovan Azaraku, who they drafted last year, is had a labrum tear in his hip. They don't know when he's going to be ready. So for me, I'm looking at a team I think in Dallas that is ready to compete. Right? They got they got a couple little holes to fill. Right? I think that you can talk linebacker, which we'll probably talk sooner rather than later. I think you could talk safety. I think you can talk. I think you can talk edge rusher, and this is where I'm going to go. Um, something it's a little rich. I don't think so at all. I'm going to take Akeem Mesidor off the board right here, and bring that pop and that that length and that chaos and exactly what they could use opposite of Rashawn Gary. Listen, truth be told, Rashawn Gary might be on the decline. And at worst comes to worst, you have a little bit of life. Opposite of that, until Donovan Azaraku comes back, and then when he comes back, you can have a 3-headed monster because you can reduce Gary inside and have him rush from the 3-tech and stuff like that. So, I don't care if he's 25, age be damned. Give me good players. Akeem Mesidor is a good player. I think he's somebody that will fit exactly what Dallas wants to do with their defensive ends in sub packages. Put your hand in the dirt and just get at the quarterback, with all 4 of those guys. Him and Quinnen and Gary and Azaraku when he comes back. That's a lot to deal with. So that's my pick.
Real quick, thank you, Slam and Sammy Joe, for the super chat. It says Chief GM has a huge crush on Sonny Styles. I think, aside from Genergy, a lot of people have a crush on Sonny Styles, and need might be the reason that they don't go with him. But I think he's a fantastic prospect, and I wish there was a world where we could get him. And I know people could say just take him at 2, but I hope he's a Jet some way. Buffalo.
I love Akeem Mesidor. I think if Akeem Mesidor was 21 years old, he'd be a top 5 pick in this class. I think that you could argue there was times throughout the season where he was just as impressive as Ruben Bain. And you're getting what I say about Akeem Mesidor is like you're kind of getting just a professional edge rusher right away, right? Where it's just like out the box, he's a grown man and he could play average ball at a premium position. And now maybe he doesn't get that 3rd contract, but I think at this point in the draft, for a team that does have a quarterback who's, getting towards mid-30s and Quinnen's up there. So, okay, let's see what we got the next 4 or 5 years. And that, you put Quinnen. Azaraku had a sneaky good rookie year too. So all of a sudden that pass rush is in pretty good shape. So I like the Mesidor pick. I think there, or like the Ravens, would be a good spot for him. With the Rams here, I'll take Mekhi Lemon. I think that the Rams have shown they're willing to draft 1 year ahead of need. Obviously, they have Devontae for 1 more year, but then the 3 of them in 11 personnel would be crazy. I think if you told Sean McVay, hey, do you just want Puka Nacua, but like just mini-sized, he might want to take that. So, unfortunately, I would hope they don't, because I love Lemon to the Jets, but I think that there's been some smoke that the Rams are smitten around the wide receiver market, and I don't think Ty Simpson. I think they're going to try and take a player that's going to help them stuff one more Lombardi in the trophy before Matt Stafford's spine gives out. So I'll go with Mekhi Lemon.
All right. Yeah, I agree with I like the pick with Devontae getting near the end. Puka going to have that massive contract, load somebody young and controllable with costs behind him for years to come. Now, I got the Ravens pick here.
I think so. Is it me? Somebody has like a mild static. I don't know if it's me just hearing that.
I don't hear it.
Oh, it must be me. Never mind. Continue. It's a me problem. Skill issue.
I'll just talk what I'm thinking through this here. I'm debating between Peter Woods or Vega. And I know it's not the sexy pick, but I just think Vega Ione is the pick. and put him on that offensive line and let Derrick Henry just do Derrick Henry things. The Ravens seem to lose games when they don't play Derrick Henry and give him the ball very much, and this gives you more reason to give him the ball and take the ball out of Lamar's hands late in the season. And I've watched Ravens playoff games and games that they have to win, and Henry sitting on the bench, and that's not your recipe for winning. So create an environment where Derrick Henry gets the ball more, and I think this pick does it.
All right, locking it in. Vegaone. Dom, this is where we have a little bit of a out of order.
Yes,
You have the Bucks.
I am up with the Bucks.
Yep.
So truth be told, I probably would have taken Vanga Ioane right here. I think he's the perfect plug and play in at left guard. Yeah, and then that becomes a real strength. I think that this is a sneaky team that could probably go wide receiver. I just don't know if they're going to do it 2 years in a row, high capital, but they're going to be in the wide receiver market probably later on in the draft. I think they could use another edge rusher. I think you need to start planning for life after Vita Vea.
Dom, excuse me real quick. I have to say, 69 of you watching at the moment. I interrupted Dom. Thank you for being here. Go ahead, Dom. Continue.
I think they have to start thinking about life after Vita Vea. I just personally have a problem. Like I have trouble, really wrapping my head around paying running backs second contracts and drafting, two gapping fatty nose tackles in the top half of round one. So it's tough for me to go there. So I'm stuck at two spots right now. It's either going to be an inside linebacker, an off-ball backer, somebody in the CJ Allen mold. I think would be really good. Or I go edge rusher here, and looking at what they did, they brought in Al-Q Muhammad from Detroit. You got Yaya Diaby is just not really that good. I don't think so, personally, at least. David Walker's coming back. I think he'll give you some juice in that pass rush specialist spot. Coming back off of an injury last year, I really liked him coming out of the draft. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and take CJ Allen. Crazy that I'm taking another that there's another off-ball linebacker going. That's 3 in the first 15 picks. Three off-ball linebackers in the first 15 picks is kind of wild, but you need to upgrade Servassier Dennis, and Alex Anzalone is not getting any younger. You need to add talent, and CJ Allen's really freaking good. So that's the pick.
Yeah, I can't be mad at this other than the fact that it snipes the Jets because, quite frankly, Vanga and CJ Allen and really Mekhi Lemons, so thanks to all three of you guys for making this decision a lot harder on me. I feel like a lot of times you do the mock drafts and one of these two in Lemon or Vanga is usually there. CJ Allen is almost always there. Like you mentioned, 2 off balls in the top 15 is a little rare, but I think it's realistic. So I do like that pick. CJ Allen is a really smart linebacker. I would love to plug and play him next to Demario Davis and just have him be the sponge until Demario retires. But makes my choice a little bit harder here at 16. I feel like we could ask the room and we'd probably come away with 4 different names. I think safety has to be in play here. I think wide receiver has to be in play here. Offensive line could have been in play here. Maybe Fano, if they want to really upgrade from Josh Myers. But I think
I don't envy you. I don't envy your decision here, Dylan. I'm glad I have pick 33.
It's not the board. This might be like a kind of doomsday scenario for me.
But this is why doing this is better than just saying, hey, take Lemon at 16.
Yes.
Right? Like
exactly.
actually going through and getting guys off the board. Like this is the reality of the pick.
Yep.
And you can see that we're legitimately drafting this where we're not trying to float a good player to the Jets.
Of course not.
We're taking this seriously. So this is where it's interesting. And I think the Jets would look to maybe move out here.
Yeah, in this specific scenario, I think so too. I would be targeting a Dylan Thieneman, Jordan Tyson, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and Omar Cooper Jr. are probably like the top 4 names just scrolling through here real quick. Caden McDonald's still too early for me. I
Yeah.
still think it's slightly early for Omar Cooper Jr. I did see that DJ had him mocked to us at 16, so I know Buffalo is stamping his approval rating on that one. It's pretty high.
I run that pick to the table. I mean, I personally, I'm not gonna take the spot.
You would run Omar Cooper to the table?
Well, not here. I mean, I think he's in this. I think there's a top 4. I know everyone talks about the top 3. I think Omar Cooper needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
And he might be 4 of 4.
Yep.
That's fine. But I think that there's a clear break after that. So,
there's a chance he goes wide receiver 3 over Tyson.
With
medicals.
Tyson and Omar Cooper on the board, I'm not necessarily concerned if wide receiver is the avenue.
Yeah.
I got to ask you a question, though. Is Ty Simpson in the equation for you here?
Yeah, no, he's 100% in my equation. And the way that I'll frame it from a Jets perspective is if the Jets think he's a top 14 to 16 passer in the first 3 years of his career before they have to decide his 5th-year option, he is worth the pick at 16. The upside and the benefit of having a quarterback that you think is top half of the league. I understand there were some quarterbacks that were injured last year and didn't play a full season. Cam Ward, I believe, was the 17th best passer in terms of passing yards. So just from that metric, I would take, would I take Ty Simpson if he became 16 through 1 or 17 through 1 in their career trajectory? Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's from that mindset I would put Ty Simpson in the mix. So it would be the 2 safeties, the 2 wide receivers, and Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson would get the most backlash. I think you don't risk it to get to 33 with Ty Simpson unless you feel like you can trade up into the 20s to get him, which I'm also fine with. But I think for just trying to be predictive and also, not have Nick never invite me back on his show, I have to go into the safety and the wide receiver markets.
No, you can come on the show, but you're going to be Fozzie Bear. We're going to throw tomatoes every time.
Of course. So I do think if I'm just picking, and obviously I have total control here, I am Aaron Glenn in this situation. I'm going to take Emmanuel McNeil Warren. We've just seen the mold of the Nicky Manwari vibe, work pretty well. He's just a long, lengthy safety, I know they have this weird, is Minka a nickel? Is he a free safety vibe right now? I don't know. I think you can't go wrong having enough safeties in the room. Cisco on a minimal deal doesn't do anything for me. Malachi Moore, I feel like, is a fine player in his 2nd year. Belton on a 1-year deal as your special teams guy also. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, to me, just slides right in, and I think he'd probably be the 2nd best safety in your room before ever putting the pads on, just from a talent perspective. So I'm going to go with the freak safety out of Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
So I've only watched one game of McNeil Warren, but is he more of you trust him to be the last line of defense and cover 1 type of free safety, Dylan? Or
I would trust him, yeah. I mean, I would rather have Minka do it, to be honest, because I think Minka has just a proven track record of being that guy, and I don't love him in the nickel, and I feel like you can almost put Emmanuel McNeil Warren in that Brian Branch nickel type of role and then have Minka do the backfield stuff. So I would say it's more interchangeable, but I don't know. I don't think Emmanuel McNeil Warren proved he was bad at any facet of safety play.
So I think a defensive back. I think you got to keep an open mind. I think a defensive back is on the table. Like they could take a corner. Like people, they're not going to take a corner at 16. Like yeah, of course they could. Like Aaron Glenn is going to overinvest in corner. I probably would have gone Thieneman or Omar Cooper Jr., but that's just because I have more information on those players. Not so I'm just kind of ignorant to Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean they definitely. I think that they need somebody who they could just stick at post safety and like, hey man, we're gonna play cover 1, and we need you to make sure nothing gets via back there. I know Thieneman did quite a bit of that before he transferred. So if they think McNeil Warren can do that, that's cool. Malachi Moore and what's his name, Stopgap McGee from the Giants isn't going to prevent them from doing that. So that's cool. I don't have any objections, but the chat is not pleased, Dylan. You upset the chat.
Yeah, Bill M said he unsubscribed to Nick's channel, not mine. So
Nick's car insurance just went up because you made that pick. Actually,
It can't go up any more than it is. I don't understand
I've
how
had that
high for a
conversation with
car
Nick. I
10
know
years
it
old.
can't.
It's a pickup truck 10 years old. How the hell is my insurance this high? It's ridiculous. I got to call and fight with these people.
all right, man.
Bring that up.
Sweet. So Lions here, the Lions just don't have a left side of their offensive line, which is an interesting strategy going into a draft for a team that's like supposed to be competitive. I think this is a spot where you just take Spencer Fano and he starts somewhere for you. Maybe he plays guard. Christian Mahogany is kind of cheeks. He was a late round pick, so he could probably be a backup at this point. So maybe you try him at left tackle, and if he fails, you kick him inside. I know he can maybe even play center for you. I know they added Cade Mace. Maybe they don't need that, but I think if you're a team that has multiple holes in your offensive line in the mid first round, you could just take Spencer Fano and see where he fits. It's kind of the Peter Skoronski method of a couple of years ago.
Yeah, listen, when Detroit started getting good, it was because of their offensive line.
Yeah.
They were dominant at that point of attack. They were dominant in the trenches. And now they've lost multiple players. You got to reload. You know, so I think this is just sit and pick and wait and see who falls. And like you said, his positional flexibility allows you to just plug him in wherever you need him. And he might not be at that position for the length of his career. He might be. Dom, who was the guy from Duke who had that last year? Who was the offensive lineman from
Graham
Duke?
Barton.
Yes. And we were talking about him the same way, right? He could play guard. He could play center. He could kick out, but they see him inside more on the next level. So
There's another one coming out of Duke. Same. If you looked in the mirror, you'd think you're looking at a twin. Just big old country, smart white boy.
Okay.
Yeah. His name's Brian Parker, the second.
Oh, he must also be gay because he went to Duke. God, I hate that. We don't judge. We're just stating facts.
That's right.
You're
up from Minnesota.
There's nothing wrong with that aspect. But here with Minnesota, I debated Fano if he was there looking ahead. And, now that you took him, I think I'm going to take the Eneman. I think I'm going to put him on the back of that defense. And quick, simple, easy pick. I think that his athleticism on the back end of that D could be really fun to watch. And he'll be lightning quick on that turf indoors, though.
And they just retired the last Great White Hope to just bring in another one.
Yeah, Smith.
Yeah, Harrison Smith retires. They just bring in his clone.
Love it.
I like Dylan Thieneman a lot better than Dylan Terman, though, Genergy, just to be completely fair.
I would have taken Thieneman at 16 if he spelled his name right.
Oh, spelling jokes.
Dylan, this is you back to
That's
normal.
weak, Dylan.
Oh,
That's weak. Be kinder.
I mean, it's not his fault. His parents did
Energy, not
proper.
G.
No. Yeah. What'd she say? Oh yeah. I actually like the comparison, the Dylan T vibes, and it's MAN, same as mine. I like it.
That'd be great if Dylan Thieneman drops a logo that's like identical to yours. He starts selling his own merch for DT on it.
Yeah, that's messed up.
He sues you.
Everyone goes to
with
your
the plane
website
right
and
in the
orders it
middle.
instead.
Yeah. Of course, I would be the one to get sued.
He sues
He's
you
not
for his
suing me.
likeness.
I'm not suing him. I mean, there's no way. I can't afford that. Oh man, yeah, no, I would have definitely had him in consideration. Obviously, at 16, I like him on the back end. Can't have enough safety talent. I thought the Salo regime was going to prioritize it, but they didn't. So I like the pick there, swapping out Harrison Smith for Thieneman. The Panthers were a weird one for me. I had safety, linebacker, and wide receiver written down. I do like that Jordan Tyson is here. I know they have okay trio. Obviously, Tedero McMillan, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Xavier Legette, I feel like he's a funny story and like he's a hilarious person if you can understand when he's talking. But he's not that great on the football field. And then Jalen Coker is like an underrated slot player, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Jordan Tyson and really round out that room, give Bryce Young a stable of wide receiver options. And yeah, I think Jordan Tyson's fall shouldn't be outside of the top 20 also. I think that's pretty good perspective. I think he's a top 20 player. He should go in the top 20.
Okay. Real quick, I put this up before, but didn't get to read it. One of you guys was talking. Johnny Boy with a super chat says, Vada, no matter what. Hashtag Mugini. It is not Mugini, Johnny Boy. It is the magnificent Mugician.
I do have to say I like Magician a little better because Mugini does sound a little bit like Mangini.
Yeah.
So Magician is a little different. It's his own little vibe.
Yeah.
Gypsy, you missed absolutely a lot.
Way to sum it up there, DT.
I'm not going to read
What did you miss?
19.
19 selections.
So
I think I'm up with Dallas, right?
Yeah. Dom.
oh yeah, my bad.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to talk about Jordan Tyson? I apologize.
No, I messed up the order. You're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, I think that Dallas, first off, I think if Tyson falls past 16, I think I'd be surprised. I think he's the pick if he's on the board for the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
Personal opinion. But this is a great spot for him. I think he complements Tet McMillan so well.
Mhm.
And I'm up with Dallas. And, there's not I talked about off-ball backer. There's not one here. Where I would go probably. I think C.J. Allen's the last of the Mohicans in terms of off-ball backers in the first round. They do need some help in the cornerback room. Signed Kobe Durant. Savon Revel didn't really play great from his, after his ACL tear, coming back from that ACL tear. They definitely are in need of a nickel cornerback. So even though this is not a player that I am very high on, I know Buffalo loves him. So I'm going to show Avion Terrell a little love here. He just slots in and plays the nickel. He's undersized. He's a little bit slim. He's a little bit undersized. Definitely has that dog mentality. I think he'll fit very well in here. And in a pinch, if you need him to bounce outside, I think he can handle it. Especially in a lot of off-man zone schemes, 3s and 4s. He'll do fine. But for me, I think he's a nickel through and through at the next level.
A couple things real quick. I'm dropping Dom C's YouTube channel in the comments right now. He's at $6.99. Go show him some love. Let's get him over 700 tonight. Also, before we move on from you, Dom, the big fella with a super chat says, Dom, would you take Tate Sandell in round 5 for us? Am I saying that right?
I have no idea who that is. Tate Sandell.
Probably a guy from Tennessee, if the big fella's asking.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I'm probably a good 200, 230 prospects in, and I don't know if I've watched the Tate.
It's Oklahoma's kicker. You'll never watch him, Dom.
There we go. So
I just had to look it up. I'm like, I've never heard that name either, but yeah, Oklahoma.
The truth is absolutely fucking not, big fella. We don't draft kickers around here.
Not when you can pluck them out of any soccer league. I feel like they're coming from soccer.
Yeah, absolutely. BJF Pittsburgh.
So this has been penciled in a spot for. By the way, I love Terrell. I think he is just the way he plays at his size, the ability to force turnovers. So I like it. At that point, I'm in the draft. I'm cool with it. The Cowboys need a corner in the worst way, so either him or McCoy. The Steelers. I don't know if they're going to go wide receiver. I think Pittman bought them some time here. I'm going to get a little weird with the Pittsburgh pick, so I'm going to take Caleb Banks. And I know that is weird. That is a little bit different here. But I think that if you look at now Cam Hayward's probably got one more year left, right? And I think that Banks can play. I think I love him as an odd front defensive end in their 3-4. And he can also play nose in a pinch too. So just make a strength to strength. They did add Black. They have Keanu Benton in there. I don't know if that's the kind of investment they're going to make, but they just kind of filled a lot of needs in free agency to where I think that they can afford to take what they believe to be BPA. And if they believe in his feet are healthy, I think he is one of the 20 best players in the class. It just comes down to how teams view the risk with the feet. So I'll go Caleb Banks to Pittsburgh.
Before you give your analysis, can I just ask who the quarterback is predictively in Pittsburgh?
Rodgers.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you're getting a couple subs. Big fella says he just subscribed. I'm taking that kicker. He killed Tennessee. All right, it was Tennessee related, big fella. I wasn't too far off with you. Everybody knows I love Banks. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. I know the foot injury, but I'm not drafting him just to play week 1 in September. I'm drafting him if it's round 1 for the next minimum 5 years. So I think he's still a round 1 talent. I know the injury is a concern. Dom, is it the same injury that he had during the season that he missed time, or is this something different?
Nope, something completely different.
Okay. Yeah, I love the player, and
I love the player too. I think he's just outside of my first round grades. I think he's number 16 on my board, and I have 15 first round grades, or 15. I have 14, so he's right there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned with 6'6", 335-pound men who have consecutive foot injuries. It's just not, it just doesn't bode well. You know what I mean?
No, you're 100% right. All right, I'm up with the Chargers.
Yes.
I got a couple options again here. This guy just screams hardball player to me. I'm going to take Keldrick Falk, and I'm going to go let him sit with Khalil Mack for a year and learn from him, and then be the guy that plays that violent style on the edge. And I think that Falk would be a nice transition. I'm not putting him on Mack as a young player. I'm putting him as Mack now, who's more physical. And I think Falk would be a nice addition to that front.
Yeah, I don't hate the pick. I think he has all the abilities in terms of his frame to be a really good pass rusher. So like you said, learning under a guy like Khalil Mack, somebody who's going to spend a little time with him after practice every day and work on those hand moves and then those counter moves off of that. It's really important for somebody like Falk to have a good developmental leader in the room there. So I do like that fit. I was thinking about him actually for the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Eagles are such a weird team. Like, predictively, do we think A.J. Brown makes it to the season in Philadelphia? It's, like there's always a chance he can get moved in the next couple weeks.
Something came out today. They get $40 million dead cap if he's moved before June 1st, $20 million dead cap if he's moved after.
Well, that makes it really tough for them because what's the landing spot going to be once teams have already filled through the draft? So that's going to be interesting for Philadelphia. Omar Cooper Jr., I think, could still be on the board. They did sign Hollywood Brown, but I don't think that stops you from getting a Omar Cooper Jr. and just having A.J. Brown for however long, Devonta Smith and Omar Cooper Jr. I had a couple other names written down. Let me pull up. They did lose, or they re-signed Dallas Goedert to like 1 or 2 year deal, probably similar to like Cam Hayward, where he's going to play like maybe one more year and then call it quits. So is Kenyon Sadiq somebody in the mix for the Philadelphia Eagles? I think that would be really interesting. Maybe like outside of the box type of pick, maybe not so much predictive. And then I think like a Denzel Boston could be in play here as well. More of that A.J. Brown style beat press coverage, win down the field type of player. I like that somebody just put the comment about Kenyon Sadiq would be cool. Predictively, I think it's probably not the fit to go Kenyon Sadiq, but I can't pull myself away from it. It's either Sadiq or Omar Cooper Jr., and I think Omar Cooper Jr.'s oh man, is he the better player than Kenyon Sadiq? It's so tough. I feel like that's the line for Kenyon Sadiq is he better than Omar Cooper Jr.? I'll go with my gut, and I'll go Kenyon Sadiq. It's probably not the most predictive pick of this mock draft, but dude, Kenyon Sadiq in this offense would just be crazy. The way he blocks in space for Saquon Barkley, or he just runs up the seam for Jalen Hurts to throw it 7 yards short of him. Then yeah, this would be a fun pick for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think it's very predictive. To be
Ooh,
honest,
okay, I like that.
I think that this is Howie's a guy that always drafts a year before he needs a guy or 2 years before he needs a guy. So you can make an argument for Sadiq. You can make an argument for an offensive tackle. You can make an argument for another edge rusher. I think that's all in play. So I don't think you did wrong.
I love it.
For what it's worth, that's my 2 cents. I'm up here with the Browns, and they took Monroe Freeling with pick 1. I mean, listen, would it be completely, out of line if they took another offensive lineman? I don't think so. I also think that this is this is a team that probably needs to fix or secure that slot cornerback position. I think this is a team that needs offensive weapons as well. So I'm not going to take him here. I'm going to take a wide receiver. I'm going to take the wide receiver. Man. Tillman, Judy, and Bond. You got Thrash and Malachi, which are probably more inside to outside guys.
It's like a 2019 Sam Darnold wide receiver room.
Yeah, I'm going to take not my
With
highest.
2019 Sam Darnold playing quarterback at his best.
Yeah, not my highest ranked guy on the board, but I think schematically probably the best fit here. Give me Denzel Boston out of University of Washington. Big guy. Everything that they kind of hoped Cedric Tillman would turn into, but hasn't. And Cedric Tillman's been running a lot. He runs a lot of that move flanker stuff and some big slot. So I think you can. There's a world where you can have Harold Fannin and Denzel Boston and Cedric Tillman all on the field, and your contested catch rate goes from goes up to about 98%. Now I'm curious to see why he didn't run the 40-yard dash in his pro day. Is he that slow? Is he going to have trouble separating? I don't know. I thought the same thing about Drake London, and here we are. Drake London's a man, the man. So I got my questions about Boston personally. Again, predictively, I'm just trying to match up the fit. That's going to be the pick. I will say close second if I wasn't going wide receiver. I think this is a perfect spot for D'Angelo Ponds.
Ooh,
yeah. So
I like that.
But that's not my selection. Boston is, and I don't know who's up after me. Buffalo.
I'm gonna run and grab a drink. So if Buffalo says the pick, just let me know when I get back.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you're the Browns, getting a tackle and a wide receiver with your 2 first-round picks is what you got to do. 2 offensive weapons, so I like it. Boston, not my cup of tea for the Jets at 16, but he'll probably go late round 1, early round 2. Could be and you could live with him being a high-end wide receiver 2 at that point in the draft. The Bears, to me, this is Jermod McCoy just staring me in the face. I think you have to go. I'd go Jermod McCoy with Chicago. Their defense was not. Their secondary wasn't great last year. I know they brought in. Did they sign Nick Cross? Did they brought in a safety, or did they get Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant.
They got Kobe Bryant. Okay,
yeah.
They lose to
Brisker. They actually brought in 2 safeties. I think they brought in Cam Lewis from Buffalo.
Okay. And they lose their corner, the one that we got, Nashawn Wright. So they have Johnson on one side, and I think Tyreek Stevenson starting our side. You want to upgrade there. So I think McCoy, the talent just becomes too high to pass up. I mean, Dom, he'd probably be maybe a top 5 to 10 player based on his film last year, right?
If he based on his film from last year, he's probably a top 5 guy in this class. yeah, there is probably, he hasn't played. He hasn't played in 500 days, so that's a real problem. You know what I mean?
Well, when you put it like that,
Well, I mean, that is it is a real problem, but I agree that I think you can easily improve or upgrade from Tyreek Stevenson. So
I took Jermon McCoy.
Jermon McCoy, yep. And
You
Nick,
said-
you're up.
Yeah, I think the Bears are in position. They could attack the
Nope.
secondary. They could
Not
basically.
Bears, Buffalo.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm commenting on his pick first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. My fault.
Oh, whoa, okay. I was like, no way, we got 25 picks in and I made a mistake. I've been waiting the whole time for me to make a mistake.
Yeah, I'll be brief with it. The Bears have several positions they could take, and I think they can just take the best available player on their board at a position of need. They can add to the line. They can add to the secondary. They got a pretty good foundation. Just keep adding talent to it. Now with the Bills, I don't want to see this team improve at all. You can draft the wide receiver here, but it's just going to be a guy that Josh Allen misses in clutch time, so there's no point in drafting one of them. I'm going to go with Caden Proctor because I know he's a tackle at Alabama, but I know he can slide inside to guard, and a lot of people project him to play guard in the NFL. Also, it led Allen to making this comment earlier in the offseason.
That guy fucked me twice.
So, Caden Proctor is the selection for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not talking. Sorry about that. That's Dylan. That's you.
You're good. Yeah, I would assume he's probably going to play guard for a lot of teams. The weight is just an issue. I get so scared thinking about him and like Mekhi Becton all over again. Not saying that he has he's going to eat himself out of the league essentially, but when you're 360 something pounds, like you got to get down like to 340, 335 really. Like it's so hard to play at such a heavy weight. So I am a little nervous for them, but hey, if they can make Dayon Walker on the defensive line go up against Caden Proctor and not cause an earthquake that our guy Kev feels from his home, then that'd be pretty cool. Good for the Bills. And unfortunately, they do have to get a little bit better here in the process.
And they just, who was it? What team? Was it Minnesota? Just made a qualifying offer today to one of the Bills' offensive linemen. They had a transition tag on him.
Oh,
And
okay.
Minnesota offered a contract, and the Bills have 5 days to match it. So I don't know if that was a guard or a tackle. I forget, but I saw that info come in today. So I don't know if the Bills match or if they let him walk, but it would open up another spot on their line.
Yeah, that is interesting. And he was on my list for this team that I'm picking for right now, the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if he's necessarily a scheme fit, so maybe you helped me from making a mistake there, Kev, or Nick, excuse me. But yeah, with the Niners, the three names that I had written down were Caden Proctor, who's no longer on the board, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, who's no longer on the board, and then Chase Bisontis, the guard from Texas A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have not done a ton of tape on him, admittedly. I'm more of a Pregnon guy in this in the 33 to 44 range for the Jets, but I know Nick is a big fan of Chase Bisontis. Plug him in. I think their left guard his name is like Connor Colby or something like that, a former 7th round pick. So I think they're really trying to upgrade that, solidify their offensive line, and get back to their winning ways, pounding the football with Christian McCaffrey. So Chase Bisontis, the pick for the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh man, I just got a text message at 10:30 at night that I have a court hearing in Newark tomorrow. I have to pay the violation now online by scanning this barcode.
You know it. You know it's real.
Hashtag Charles Gorman. No, thank you.
Oh boy.
Can we pick again?
No, it's my pick,
Bisontis.
but I'll go Bisontis. I think Bisontis is going to be a player in the league for a long time.
Mhm.
I think he needs to. He is the Olu Fashinus of the guard class. Like amazing, real good mirror skills, good in pass pro. Needs to put a little sand in his pants, not a people mover. Think he can get there. He has the frame to do it. but you're getting a high quality guard that can slip in and kind of probably keep Pooney on the right side and Basantis on the left. That's what I would do. So I'm up with Houston.
Tom, before you go, Dylan,
Okay.
can you update everyone on the Jets picks? Can you pull up click on us?
Yeah, so for the Jets specifically, Nick, you took Arvel Reese at 2, and then I took Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety from Toledo, at 16.
Thank you.
Houston has revamped their offensive line completely. They brought in Wyatt Teller today. They brought in Jake Andrews. I don't know if that was this year or last year. I forget. They re-signed Ed Ingram. They signed Braden Smith from Indianapolis. So, what used to be a real weakness now is probably one of their stronger spots because not only do they have those guys, but they got Blake Fisher, Jarrett Patterson, and Trent Brown now as depth. So I think it takes an offensive lineman here in round 1 right off the table. It could go that way, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. There's not a tight end that's worthy of the pick. I think I can go there. So I'm just going to go here and it's one of two guys. I'm going to take Cade McDonald. Worst comes to worst, just add to another strength. They re-signed Sheldon Rankins for one more year. Arguably, a lot of people think of him as the one of the more solid or NFL ready run defenders in the league. So why not just get ready to plug him in there as one of your big shit eating defensive tackles? Even if he's not starting, Sheldon Rankins gets the start. You can probably run him back and be ready to replace Sheldon Rankins. This is a luxury pick. Houston's in a spot where they don't have to draft for plug a starter right now. They can draft a guy based on potential and traits that they think will play for them in 27 and beyond. So, Cade McDonald.
All right. Buffalo?
Kansas City, correct?
Yes.
So, I think Kansas City will be ecstatic if Omar Cooper Jr. is still on the board here all the way at 29. Cade McDonald's, for the Texans, hell yeah. Add to that defensive interior. Just the rich get richer there, and now you can really turn those dogs loose on the edge. So I'm cool with McDonald going to Houston. It's almost becoming, I think, a pretty common pick too, you see. But yeah, Omar Cooper Jr., I think a lot of things that they liked about Rashee Rice as a talent, they will like about Omar Cooper Jr. Unfortunately, Rashee Rice, can you depend on him to stay on the field? Need to make a pick to help Mahomes after they went with Styles in round 1. So Cooper Jr. to Kansas City, pretty easy one to make, I think, at that point, if he's still there.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's definitely, they need help.
That's a draft. Sonny Styles and Omar Cooper.
Yeah. With one more pick in the top 40 to go, too.
Crazy.
I kind of derailed what I was looking to do here.
Miami would probably look to jump Kansas City for Cooper Jr. if it got the way it did.
If it was going that way, 100%.
They got 12 picks. They can
Texans would flip back or something. The 49ers could flip back a couple picks.
A lot of these teams from probably from 24 down would probably flip back.
Miami's first pick was cornerback Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with KC Concepcion here.
Yep.
Give them a wide receiver.
I like it. Yeah, can't be mad. I had wide receiver written down for my, first pick for them at 11. I just felt like Mansour Delane was too talented to pass up. But, the fact that Omar Cooper and Concepcion lasted to 29-30 is a huge value. So I like that. We're on the same wavelength here, Nick. And then for the Patriots, similar fashion to the Bills, don't want to see them get better. Unfortunately, they have to. They're in a pretty good position here. They don't have a ton of needs. McDonald and Chase Basantis were the two guys I had circled. Dom, I want to ask you: do you think Blake Miller is a tackle or a guard at the NFL level?
I think he's a tackle.
You
I think
he's just
I think he's a right tackle through and through.
okay? I guess it comes down to probably Emmanuel Pregnon and Christian Miller really trying to bolster up the trenches. And I know they have a good defensive line, so maybe I'm leaning a little bit more offensive line. They could probably use a guard. I think Will Campbell should be that guard, and they should take a tackle. But I guess I'm gonna have to go Pregnon. All right, same question, Dom. What about Lomu? He's probably a guard or a tackle.
Probably he's a guy that he played tackle. He's probably a guy you're going to start at tackle, and then move him inside if it doesn't work out.
You let him fail forward, yeah. Which I'm a fan of. I like letting him fail at tackle first, yeah.
Yeah, like Will Campbell, he failed the tackle, so he'll be a guard at some point this year, so they'll need a tackle.
Yeah, seriously.
That's my big prediction for the Patriots. AVT swaps out the tackle, and Campbell just keeps getting bull rushed and knocked on his ass.
That'll be interesting. Maybe I just go Peter Woods. Say F it. I was going to go Christian Miller, but let me go Peter Woods because I don't think he should be here at 31. I know he's ranked number 33 on the board, but Peter Woods, fun player, disappointing tape in 2025, but I like Peter Woods here, and unfortunately, he goes to the Patriots.
Peter Woods.
I think it's you, Kev.
Nope.
It's Dom because we flipped it so I get the Jets pick.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I listen. I think this is a good opportunity. I mean, a good spot for Peter Woods. He's had a very peculiar draft season.
Process.
Yeah, process has been weird at best, but tape rules, and he's really good. I would love him I would love him to play 5-tech for the Jets personally. I think he'd be really good at it. I'm up with Seattle. I wish I loved some of the running backs a lot because I think that's a big time need. I know some people are going to peg Jadarian Price here. I'm just not there with him. I know he's a very good compliment to Charbonnet. I think Mike Washington is going to go a lot higher than people think, but I don't know if he's a round one draft pick. This is just the spot where I think, running, like people are going to, I could see them trading down or people are going to come up maybe for the Ty Simpson and this, that, and the other thing. But we're not doing trades here. So for me, it's between two guys. It's between, I don't even think it's between. I think I'm going to go ahead and make my pick. I'm going to take Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State. He, to me, prototypical, cover 3, cover 4 corner. He's zone specific. Play him opposite Witherspoon with Imanwari in the slot. Chris Johnson is severely not talked about in the top echelon of these cornerbacks as much as he should when you have a fit such as him in Seattle in this defense. So, there's other guys that I had graded higher, but for me, that's I'm just matching up player and fits, and a good team drafted another good player. Who would have thunk? So, Buffalo, that leaves you up, my friend.
Yeah, I think Seattle going secondary makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good spot for Terrell too if he falls to the end of round one. They just have such a luxury to truly go BPA.
Yep.
So this is fucking disgusting. Like, there's no receipt. I could take. I think the problem is the crop of receivers here. I'm really the guy that Dom could get at 44. I think is going to be just as fine. But at the same time, I don't know if can you really go defense with their first 3 picks?
Some will tell you that
you can in my world.
Yeah,
Is Pregnon still on the board?
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to do that either, though, man. That doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. What's the chat saying?
It's C+ draft so far.
Chat's
That's the thing.
Chat is out to lunch. They're just gonna cook me no matter what I do now.
Because if you take Pregnon, you're putting Parham at center, and
Yeah,
Josh Myers is your sixth man, right?
Oh, okay. Can you scroll back up to the top of who's left here?
Which isn't a bad lineup.
No, my only problem
No.
is Josh Myers is a center only. He's never played guard before, other than like one half of training camp his freshman year of Ohio State. So it is a little nerve-wracking to have like a center only as your first backup. But then we also have, Newman and Mitchell. But again, how much that's not inspiring a lot of confidence.
I honestly think if the board does fall this way, they'll take one of these corners like Colton Hood or Brandon Cisse. To be honest, I think that's probably where the Jets would lean in this area. God, I don't think they would take. I don't think they're taking Ty Simpson. My spidey senses tell me they're not taking Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Lord,
Nick or Dom think that Ty Simpson is in play here at 33?
I
Not
hope
not
not.
for you personally, but predictively.
Predictively, I think that somebody would trade up into the end of round one, like
Yeah.
they've done with Dart and Lamar, to get the fifth-year option on a potential franchise quarterback.
I also think this is going to be kind of crazy. I agree wholeheartedly to what Nick said, but I wouldn't rule out Miami on taking him. I know that they just paid what's his face. In essence, it's a glorified 2-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if Miami likes him, I wouldn't be surprised if they plugged him at 30 right there. So yeah, I think he's going to go somewhere between 25 and 32 before he gets to the Jets, and maybe it's the Jets to trade up to get him. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a good range. Get the fifth-year option on him too.
Yeah.
I'd flip 33 to 32 to get Ty Simpson just for the
Just a
fifth-year option.
perfect scenario for the Jets to trade out. Like, there's not a player
Yeah.
you have to have, and this is where you
No.
just work the phones all day and
Yep.
get the best possible.
You hope somebody loves an edge or a corner that fell, like a Pons or a Parker or something like that. Ianachor.
This is a tough one. Let's do a quick speed round. Dom, who would you take here?
Who would I take here? I would take Christian Miller.
All right, DT.
I would take Pregnon.
All right, I would take Christian Miller, and I would move on from Phillips, and put Miller on my D line.
I wouldn't even move on from Phillips. You get it, Phillips, Briggs, and Onyemata are going to be gone next year anyway.
Mhm.
So he's in the rotation this year before he takes over. That's just me. I'm not. I don't want to.
I gotta lower the $7.5 million hit then, at least. I gotta redo the deal, give him guaranteed money, and lower that 7.5.
Yeah, or at that point he might ask for a little friendly trade to somewhere where he can get some more minutes. But that's a good problem to have at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I like Christian Miller a lot as an odd front 5, but I think in my heart of hearts, I think Aaron and Glenn would leave here with Colton Hood. That's who I'll go with here. I think he's going to get the press man corner, and as long as Dom C goes fucking offense, please, Bigfoot 44. Do not post this. We are gonna get obliterated. Do not share this on any social media platforms. We're gonna erase the stream after tonight, and we'll never talk about this again. Ironically, I honestly don't think it's that terrible of a draft, but taking 2 defensive backs would not be received well. But yeah, man, I think Colton.
But this is why you don't know the way the board's going to fall, right? You
Right.
can
You gotta-
say,
you gotta
I
keep
want
an
this
open
guy,
mind.
I want that guy. but
In fairness,
it
Hood is awesome. I
I
have
have 3 awesome players.
I have Hood so close to Jamal McCoy in my evals and my grades.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
He's an awesome player, so I wouldn't be upset. But you're right. Like, this has tomatoes. Throw at these motherfuckers, all up, down, and left and right. So
Well, Nick will be popular. He got Reese. Yeah, man.
Real quick, Eli with a super chat. Thank you. It says, appreciate the stream, guys. Great work. But if I'm being honest, I'm grading this draft at a C+ so far. Now he put that in before the last pick.
It's
but
probably
Eli
worse.
thanks
C
him.
minus now. C minus.
Yeah, it went down. We need an updated grade, Eli, in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Appreciate it, Eli. But yeah, I just think that a last thing on Hood. I think that corner is a position where Aaron Glenn has shown he doesn't want a ton of question marks, and I think we're being a little naive if we think that I basically see Brandon Stevens as a 1-year deal because last year was guaranteed money, and then right on a 1-year deal on AZ Thomas, who was a 3rd-round pick, who was in the concussion tent like every 5 seconds. So I think corner is a position where there's some decent investments there, but there's still maybe some more questions than answers. And maybe if you let Wright and Stevens go next year, and you have hopefully AZ Thomas and Hood as your duo on rookie deals, I think that's something that Aaron Glenn would be interested in.
Thank you, Sean. You're up. This is a no-brainer, man. This doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't even have to think. Run that card in. Yeah, run that motherfucker in.
I think Arizona could jump up. But yeah, Ty Simpson. He's gone. He's not a Jet. Everyone rejoiced. That makes it an A+, Eli.
Dill.
I was just trying to find him in the database first, real quick. Ty Simpson, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. I will pseudo root for him and Mike LaFleur because I am a Mike LaFleur truther. Ty Simpson is my 2nd best quarterback, and he is not 33 picks worse than Fernando Mendoza, in my opinion. So an absolute steal for the Arizona Cardinals. The Tennessee Titans, they have Jeremiah Love was their first selection. I want to look at what their offensive line looks like because
I wouldn't.
See, that's what makes me nervous is that they don't have anybody, and we're going to have to add to it to give our.
Well, they got
Cam
Dan Moore and
bit.
Latham as their tackles.
Yeah, what's the guard situation looking like? They got
Skoronski
still, Cordell Volson, Oster Schlottman. Yeah, I don't think that's people. No, we're gonna go Emmanuel Pregnon, continue going offense for Rob Saleh, even though I'm sure he's begging Borgonzi to go defense. We're gonna go Pregnon here at guard and really lean into that run game to help Cam Ward in Tennessee.
And I do want to add this real quick. May says, I do love this format. This is very realistic to draft day. It's obvious this is how the draft is going to go. So you might not like it, but as Jets fans, this is the way it would fall for us, where we hate who's there. Also, we did do this under the nuance of no trades, just to make it more time efficient with starting later. So
the league told us we couldn't publish this because this would be handing out the script. So
exactly.
I am up.
Here?
That's me. Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders took Fernando Mendoza to start. I think you could talk about a big X, kind of boundary type, prototype receiver. I think you could talk defensive line, which I think is in shambles. I think you could talk right tackle. I really like Blake Miller. I might plug him here. However, I'm not. I think the bigger need is the interior of the defensive line. So I'm going to have Lee Hunter come off the board and kick some ass for the next 4 or 5 years at a high level. And, they haven't really ever replaced the freaky dude that they signed from Miami that left.
Wilkins?
Yeah. So I think you can, really for me, it came down to either Lee Hunter or Blake Miller. And maybe either the value for the right tackle is more important, but I think they want to they spent 3rd round capital on BJ Glaze. Let's see what he has. Lee Hunter's good, and you bring good football players in when you're rebuilding. So that's it.
All right, Kev. New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think the Raiders, they probably just reach for a receiver, but I think Lee Hunter is, worthy of a top 35 pick. Giants, I took Carnell Tate, correct?
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Okay,
at this. You got both their picks. That's cool.
Oh yeah, nice. This is like good team. What can you show me? What's that guard? Probably dog shit, right? Because Pregnona's gone.
Can Lomu play guard? Because I got
Yeah.
Caleb Lomu still there.
You like Lomo at guard, Dom?
I mean, he's a guy I think you're going to probably try to tackle first, but he might settle in at guard. He's got really, really good movement skills. You know, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to dissuade you from it. I just think that Harbaugh is going to want, you know, he likes those big gap, you know, people mover type of guys. I don't think that's Lomu. At the guard, like look at all the guards that he's had in the past, you know.
Are there any other tackles that could play guard?
Jennings Dunker, I think, can play guard.
That's the dude with the red mullet. He would be a rock star in New York.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it.
Yep.
Jennings Dunker for the vibes.
Love it.
It's not unrealistic. I mean, maybe it's a little bit high, but if you think that, you know, he's another guy that can give you five position flexibility.
Yeah, and Andrew Thomas misses time, so you kind of need maybe a little bit of that.
Correct.
Little baseball update: Venezuela takes a 3-2 lead heading to the bottom of the ninth. I don't know. I don't know who's on deck. Someone update us in the chat, please. I don't even know where to find this shit.
Nick, you're up.
Sorry.
Houston Texans.
Houston Texans. We got guard, DT, linebacker, tight end.
I already took Caden McDonald for them.
Oh. I am looking here at. I don't know if I like that. I'm looking. Give me a second. Don't yell at me. I mean, I'm gonna. You took who? McDonald?
Yeah, I took Caden McDonald.
Man, this draft sucks. These players suck.
I think the differing in opinions from 25 to 80 on prospect big boards is going to be pretty wide this year. Like guys like Jennings Dunker, he's 57 on PFF's big board, but he could be a top 40 pick very easily.
Yeah, I don't go by what their rankings are.
No.
Let's get nuts. We're going to add Anthony Hill Jr. to a very elite linebacking group here.
I like that fit.
Yeah, I like the fit. I do.
It's just an embarrassment of riches at linebacker in Houston. And that whole defense is just phenomenal. He'll come in and be an impactful player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't be mad at that. I'm surprised he's all the way down at 86. He's now like linebacker 7 on their big board, which is surprising. I mean, I like Jacob Rodriguez and Galde, but I don't know if I like him more than Anthony Hill. With that, I'm up with the Cleveland Browns. Who did they take? Monroe Freeling, Denzel Boston. What does the interior of their defensive line look like?
Mason Graham, baby.
Yeah.
They liked it enough to donate us Juwan Briggs.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, they
imagine drafting Mason Graham at 5 when they had Juwan Briggs at home.
That's crazy. They got Zion Johnson on the offensive line, Ogden Jenkins. Yeah, we kind of helped their offensive line with Freeling, Malik Collins, Mason Graham. Their linebackers, wow, Quincy and Schlesinger. They don't really need a defensive player. Is there a
I think they could use a cornerback.
Actually, I'm gonna go D'Angelo Pons as their nickel corner. They have Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell, and then Miles Harden is their nickel corner right now. So we're going to slide in D'Angelo Pons, pro comp, Aaron Glenn, the football player, not Aaron Glenn, the head coach. So I think they're getting a damn good one here at 39.
Yeah, I would have taken Pons right here for Kansas City if you didn't.
Sniped him.
You did snipe him. But I said before, I think that he could have been the pickup there at, whatever. So I'm here. I don't know if Brandon Cisse is the type of cornerback that's going to play and fit well. I think they need a corner. At this point, I'm willing to wait. And I'm going to go. Am I willing to wait is the question. Yeah, I guess I'm willing to wait. I mean, Keith Abney's nice. I don't think the downgrade on Keith Abney is all that crazy. I'm going to take TJ Parker. I'm going to add some depth to the pass room. Karlaftis is an effort rusher. I think Ashton Gelati's much more of a run defender before pass rusher. I think TJ Parker, fits the bill on what you want from a hand in the dirt pass rusher. He's got a long arm for days. He's another. I think he's a guy who's probably going to be a better pro than he showed last year on the Clemson team. Again, 2 years ago he was dominant. People talked about him to be in top 10. So I think he gets back to that realm here with Kansas City.
Yeah, that's who I would have picked for Kansas City. That's who I would have picked for the Bengals if he was there on the board as well. And it's a good spot for him. Betting on him and Peter Woods, I don't think completely forgot how to play football. So Clemson's a dumb team, and you got to bait that into it. For the Bengals, I think that I would. I think that Cassius Howell's got a lot of juice here, but I think Zion Young is more their type. They like those big 3-down edge players. I know I think he does have a DUI potentially, so I don't know. Although that's never really been a disqualifying factor in Cincinnati. I think. And didn't they take your guy Dylan last year? Did they take Shamar Stewart?
They did.
Breaking news: Venezuela wins 3-2.
Jeez.
Oh,
you hate to see it.
Now everyone's got to be Italy fans. That's all.
It's over. This was the championship.
Oh, it was? All right. Well, I lied then.
Oh, they got a safety at 16, a corner at 33, and now this. It's just terrible. It's a terrible night, man. Dom, draft a nose tackle at 44.
Oh, wait.
I know you're gonna do something weird. I know. You already know it. You've been plotting.
Take Zion Young. I'll go nuts. I'll love it. Best draft ever. 4 defensive players.
Yeah, I'll take Zion Young to Cincy. Nice big 3-down edge. They kind of like those type of guys in Cincinnati. Yeah. I think he's good too. I like Zion Young.
All right.
Nick, you are up with the Saints, who took Ruben Bain in round 1. You got to support the quarterback, bro.
I know. I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out which one. I was debating Brandon Sissy. Yeah, but I'm gonna say Sissy if it looks like it.
And until he's drafted to the Jets, and then we'll say it right because we're not having a Sissy on our team.
Yeah. Oh, man. Am I crazy that I really like Skylar Bell out of all? Listen, I love Chris Bell, but he's gonna miss probably the entire year. Am I nuts to think that Skylar Bell is the best remaining wide receiver here with his route running?
I don't think that it's crazy. I think he separates very well. I wonder if he's only going to be able to do it from the slot at the next level, if you're being honest. But he had 2 consecutive years of over, 100 catches and 1,500 yards. So, he can definitely play the position.
All right, give me him. I'll take him with the Saints.
Skylar Bell, right? Not Chris Bell.
Correct.
Yeah, he's got the need.
Yeah. His leg
It's a
exploded.
shame too, because he would have been in question for 16 if he was healthy.
Mhm.
I like him a lot. I would even take him at 44 and sit him and just wait. If you want to load up for 27, that's a player that you load up for 27 if you're the Jets.
Very fair. I was going to say a lot of people have been mocking him at 44 to the Jets. Skyler, not Chris. So I think at some point, pass catchers are going to start coming off the board here. Hopefully, it's not a run in real life on wide receivers, but I am going to make a run on wide receivers, hurting the Jets. Take Jeremy Bernard at 43 to the Miami Dolphins, somebody you can play anywhere, boundary, slot, backfield, in line. He's a good blocker. He's a physical player. Not the best player, not the most polished player, but I think he is very fitting for this selection. I would have taken him at 44 if he was there. So, Jeremy Bernard, and I'm sorry, Dom, if that was the offensive player you were going to pick.
Who said I was taking offense?
you're almost being forced to now.
Arian Smith is smiling somewhere right now.
Oh man! All right. So, truth be told, I'll probably just plug one of these guys. But if it was me, if I was making the call, I'm taking Christian Miller. I think he's that good. I do. I absolutely would take him in this spot. I think you can have other conversations as well. I think you can have a discussion with Malachi Lawrence because I think he's very good as well. I think he would be a phenomenal stand-up linebacker. I mean, stand-up outside linebacker. He's got some twitch. I think Eli Stowers is really, really good as well. I think he's going to be a top 50 player. I like Keontae Scott as well. You play him in that kind of safety slot position that you think Mink is going to play this year, but Keontae Scott can kind of take over. But I'm going to go with the wide receiver. I'm going to take Chris Brazzell. He's the guy I think that would complement Garrett very well. For a guy that big, at 6'5", he's really, really slim. He needs to eat a burger or two. Hopefully, some of the Italian food here in Jersey can kind of get him nice and fattened up. But the guy's got.
I bet them can give him some places to go eat.
Yeah, the guy's got great hands. He sinks his hips and gets his knees over his toes when he breaks off the stem on his routes. Really, really good for a big guy. And he can, he's kind of got that, top end speed. I don't know if he is much better, right now than AD Mitchell, and it's kind of a weird thing. I would probably say Brazzell would be my X, Mitchell would be my Z, and I'd put Garrett in the slot. So things could be worse, but this is the pick in this situation I would make. Dylan, I would have taken him over Jeremy Bernard.
Okay.
Fit-wise, personally. No,
Yeah.
For the Jets, not for Miami. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I had Bernard ranked higher. I would have probably still taken Brazzell over Bernard for the fit. But yeah, I'm not leaving here without Christian Miller if it's my call.
So the pick is
Brazzell.
but you're saying for you personally it would be Christian Miller. That's
correct.
All right. Well, thank you for saving us from getting absolutely roasted in the chat. But I like that about Brazzell versus Bernard. That's good insight. Yep. Jets picks are. All right. So Nick took Arvell Reese at 2. I took Emmanuel McNeil Warren at 16. Kev took Colton Hood at 33, and Dom took Chris Brazzell at 44. And the big fella is over the moon because we took 2 volunteers. There it is. We took 2 volunteers.
His daughter just visited Ohio State the other day, so if we would have took McDonald at 16, this would have been the greatest draft in the history of the world. But thank you for the super chat, big fella. I posted a couple seconds ago all 3 of these guys' links. Please go support them if you don't already. Uh, I know it's late, gentlemen. I know everyone wants to do the goose and pull the eject button. So, anyone want to say goodbye?
Love you guys.
That was a lot of
guys.
fun.
Go
Thank
Jets.
you.
Thank you for doing this, gentlemen. I
Later.
appreciate all of you, and we'll talk more ball tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Later, guys. Oh, hey. Oh, I look nice. Hey. All right, kidding. Now, end of the show here. I know we talked football the entire show, and I appreciate all of you for being here with the program. Let's take that down. Where did we go here? All right, I had everything enlarged. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It wasn't just a Jet show. I talk draft with these guys all the time. 69 of you watching. Nice. I, these guys talk draft all the time. Dylan and Dom were down at the Senior Bowl. So I love discussing the prospects, and I love the draft process. So not even just for the Jets, running scenarios like this where we keep saying, take this guy here, take that guy there. Well, when you see how the board falls, there could be some crazy scenarios. Now, granted, trades can factor in, and that will change everything on draft day. People will jump, people will fall, players will get drafted ahead of where you think they might go. Players will fall. It's fun. I love the process of the NFL draft. So if we can tease that and prognosticate that, I enjoy doing that. On this channel, you get a little bit of everything. You get fun, you get good football talk, you get crazy calls, you get outstanding calls, and we'll do a little bit of this as well this time of year. So I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Thank you to everyone, the new subscribers on the channel. If you're watching now and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Next subscriber gets us over 21, gets us to 2130. So please hit the subscribe button. Again, hit the like button if you haven't already. And we have some more entrants tonight. $5 super chats and up. Gifted memberships get you on the wheel for the winner's choice wheel on Easter Sunday. Last call for those.
Now let's go to What Did We Learn Today? Courtesy of Nick Shy.
And what did we learn today? I know Boomtown is outstanding at this. And we did talk a lot of football, but Boom is a very good ear. So drop your what did we learn. Thank you, Mr. Castro. Appreciate that. Paul O'Brien, I'd swap with the Chiefs. And yeah, I would love to have a franchise quarterback, probably when he's done the winningest coach of all time. Excuse me. And a bunch of Super Bowl rings. Yeah, I would swap with them too. Have a good night, Derek. All right, folks, if we don't have any what did we learn in the chat, it's time.
Hey there, Shiners, you made it to the end. It's time to ask the question. Nick Shine would like to know, Canada's taking names. Boomtown always delivers. Let's find out now. What did we learn today?
All right, Boomtown, please, good sir, drop it like it's hot. And I am going to 11:06 on a school night. What am I doing? Eli, I learned DT is obsessed with the Toledo safety. That's about it. Eli, I love the kid too. That's a rough scenario. Now I still have the picks that were made on my I was following along. But when you look at pick 13, 14, 15, that's a hell scenario for the Jets. 13 was Lemon, 14 was Vega, 15 is CJ Allen. That's tough. That's a tough run. Boomtown, I learned Nick was late and stumped to start the show. Unclear if Nick was wearing pants tonight. Fake BJF accounts can be identified by suspect emoji use. Nick prefers Thieneman over Terriman. Nice. Bonus, Peter Woods had an interesting process. 3 pins were pulled very quickly at the end of the draft. Nice. And just for those of you watching at home, make sure the kids aren't watching. Yes, there's pants on. Sorry to disappoint. $50 super chats, do get them removed though. I do have underwear on. Do not want to get this canceled. Listen, there's McNeil Warren is highly rated. In real life, I think the Jets would trade out there, but you got to have somebody. Maybe you take Jordan Tyson. I don't know. The injuries do worry me. But this has been the plan that I've been saying, Sammy, for a while. Is I would load up the defense this year, and next year you go all in on the offense. If you're Aaron Glenn and you're now calling the defense and you have your name on this defense, you do everything you can to make this defense top notch as fast as possible. Getting to 22nd in the league might not be good enough to save your job. You got to get into the mid-teens. So I would expect this year, hey, we're going to go. We already added, what, 8 guys? Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking tell me I don't got no fucking balls. Tell me I got no balls. There you go, Johnny. You pay to get the pants off, Johnny. You get the fucking pants off, Johnny. And we even do one of these. There. See, there's the underwear. Pants are gone, Johnny. You pay for it, you get it. I am a man of my word on this channel. Also, leather's a little cold. Didn't expect that. Sorry, says, hey, listen, someone pays $50 for a super chat. You got to do what you got to do. Johnny, you're the man. No balls. I mean, I hope. Listen, you got to do what you got to do, right? I'm a man of my word. It's part of my sobriety. I'm not going to, somebody's not going to pay $50 and then I don't do what I said I was going to do. Johnny, you are in the raffle for 10. And you know what I'm going to do, Johnny? Let me get to YouTube. Here's what we're going to do, Johnny. That's not. You want me to do crazy shit? Gift gift $50 and put an attachment with it. All right, let me 1 second. Let me go here. Let me go here. Here's what I'm going to do, Johnny. You gave a $50 super chat. That gets you 10 entries. I just gifted 5. I'm going to give you those 5 entries on top of it. So thank you for doing that. And good luck to you, my friend. I appreciate you. The 5 on behalf of Johnny go to Slammin' Sammy, who's here. Rick Furdy, The Real 2 Cruisin', Anthony Logirato, and Mother Effin' Chew. So thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you. And I hope it was worth it. Listen, it's after 11 o'clock. Anything goes on this show. Anything goes. Enjoy the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the moment. There you go, Simon Sammy. Welcome to the show. Also, might make this a regular segment on the show. Johnny, you're the man. Everyone, thank you for watching. And hold on, timeout. Boomtown, would you like to update any What Did We Learns tonight? I will give you a couple seconds in case you have anything. Yep, Clancy, good use of emoji. Oh, no, not you, Johnny. Anybody. Score update in the Boomtown flaunting that America lost. Yes, Boomtown. Clancy, don't buy into it. He knew exactly. Damn, Clancy, you took the bait. He wanted us to say it. Boomtown, I learned that Canada had to outsource Venezuela to finish a job that they couldn't. Yeah, he got you good. But you know what, Clancy? I'll give you credit. You are such an enthusiastic sports fan that you want to share the info and the knowledge that you have that you didn't even see that you were standing on the tracks and a Canadian polite train was plowing through. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of me and my ass cheeks, thank you for watching the Nick Shine Show. God bless Jets Johnny. God bless all of you. I hope you enjoyed the program tonight. We will be back. What's today? Thursday night, 9 o'clock or so. Not sure. I'm going out Thursday after work to dinner. So probably 9:30 in that range. And hopefully the pants come off that night as well, too, before the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Nick Shine. You are the awesome chat. God bless. Have a good night. Go Jets. Take care, everybody.
It's got beef.
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined, to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky. Who, me? Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.